Hello, hello, good evening, everyone. I love the energy in this room right now, but we do have to get started. We're going to go ahead and get our meeting started here. So we're going to call the meeting to order. Moving on to 1.2, Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you so much. 1.3, approval of the agenda.
Moved.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second. Vote please. Ms. Cervantes?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez Sosa? Thank you. Motion carries. 2.0 special presentations and recognitions. 2.1 resolution to participate in the 2025 Great California Shakeout Earthquake Drill. And I will go ahead and ask Mr. Barrios isn't here. So I will ask Mr. Santos if you can read that for us. Since you're all the way to our to closest.
Whereas the San Bernardino City Unified School District recognizes that no community is immune from natural or man-made hazards and recognizes the importance of training staff and students to withstand hazards, and whereas the district knows the importance of reducing human impact, property damage, interruption of educational services, and economic loss caused by those hazards. And whereas the district has a responsibility to promote earthquake preparedness with the staff, students, and families it serves, and plan appropriately for earthquake-related disasters. And whereas by participating in the Great California Shakeout Earthquake Drill on Thursday, October 16th, 2025 at 10:16 a.m., the district has the opportunity to join millions of Californians in testing emergency response procedures. And whereas the district encourages schools and families to participate in the Great California Shakeout at their schools, work sites, and homes, and to use the information available at both www.shakeout.org//California and www.sbcusd.com/ready/SBCUSD to educate and prepare themselves to protect life, property during an emergency. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District directs district-wide participation in the Great California Shakeout Drill on October 16th, 2025.
Thank you. Moved by Ms. Medina, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote please. Ms. Cervantes?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez Sosa?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Motion carries. 2.2, resolution in recognition of California Week of the School Administrator. And I'll go ahead and ask Ms. Cervantes if she can read that for us, please.
Whereas leadership matters for California's public education system and the close to 6 million students it serves, and the title of school administrator is used to define many educational leadership posts, such as superintendent, principal, assistant principal, special education, and adult education leader, district business official, classified educational leader, and other school districts employees who are considered administrators. And the future of California's public education system depends upon the quality of its leadership to guide and evaluate the educators and support staff who work directly with students. And school leaders depend on a network of support from fellow administrators, teachers, parents, students, businesses, communities, members, and board trustees, colleges, and universities to promote ongoing student achievement and student success. And the state of California has declared in Education Code 440.15.1 the second full week in October as the week of the school administrator. Therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District declares October 12th through October 18, 2025 as the week of the school administrator, and commends all school leaders for the contributions they make to successful student achievements.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Mrs. Alexander, second by Ms. Medina. Vote, please. Ms. Cervantes.
Aye.
Ms. Martinez Sosa.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Motion carries. 2.3, resolution in recognition of Red Ribbon Week. And I'll go ahead and ask Ms. Martinez Sosa if she can read that for us, please.
Whereas according to data collected in 2020, half of Americans the age of 12 and older have issued illicit drugs in their lifetime. And whereas teenagers and people with mental health issues are more at risk of drug use and addiction, with more than 46% of teenagers having tried a illicit drug by the time they are in 12th grade. And whereas government, parents, law enforcement, schools, service organizations, and youth can provide peer influence by demonstrating a commitment to maintaining healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing and displaying red ribbons during Red Ribbon Week. And whereas the theme of Red Ribbon Week is 2025, A Life is a Puzzle, Solve It Drug-Free. Therefore, it be resolved that the Board of Education of the San Bernardino City Unified School District hereby proclaims October 23rd through October 31st, 2025 as Red Ribbon Week, and encourages all schools to participate in drug prevention activities during the week and throughout the year, making a visible statement that SBCUSD is strongly committed to a drug-free community.
So moved.
Thank you. Moved by Mrs. Alexander, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote, please. Ms. Cervantes.
Aye.
Ms. Martinez Sosa.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Motion carries. 3.0, public comments. 3.1, receive public comments. This is the only time the public will have an opportunity to address the board on items not on the agenda and within their subject matter jurisdiction, such as district policies, procedures, programs, services, or fiscal matters. Public comments are limited to 5 minutes per person. 6 or more people who wish to speak on one topic will be provided no more than 30 minutes total. Speakers are cautioned that under California law, no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments regarding any person simply because these comments are made at a public meeting. In addition, I would like to share that the board must operate under the Brown Act open meeting regulations, which prevents boards from commenting on items not on the agenda to ensure transparency and public participation in government decision making. The reason for this is simple. We want to make sure that anyone who has an opinion on an item knows via our posted agenda when we will be discussing it as a board. During public comments, the board can ask clarifying questions but cannot discuss, answer questions, or ask questions on a topic that is not agendized. We are certainly happy that you are here to let us know your concerns and know that we are listening to your voices and your input is valued. If a follow-up is required on your comment, a staff member will reach out to you. Please make sure your email or phone number is provided on your comment form so that they can contact you. Thank you. And we will call up first.
Madam President,
Sure.
I just want to announce, because it's not in there, that if you want to make a public comment, you have to go over to the table and get a blue sheet of paper and write your name on it.
Thank you for that. Yes. So up first, we will go ahead and call our SBTA president, Ms. Barbara Paschek Cox. Welcome.
Good evening, President Ceballos, Vice President Abeles Grande, Mr. Ariano, and esteemed members of the board and cabinet. My name is Barbara Paschek Cox, and I proudly serve as the president for the San Bernardino Teachers Association. And tonight I speak on behalf of our ever-growing 3,970 members tonight. The San Bernardino Teachers Association stands strong and unwavering in our mission. We are committed to advocating for fair wages, safe workplaces, and above all, the dignity and respect our profession deserves. We hold firm to the truth that teachers' working conditions are our students' learning conditions. We value the collaborative relationship we built with the district over the years to continue to achieve these goals. This partnership, rooted in mutual respect, has laid a strong foundation for progress. We know that open, ongoing communication is essential to meeting the real needs of our schools. When we consistently engage with the voices of the classroom educators, we ensure that decisions are grounded in the reality of the classroom, because when educators thrive, students soar. We continue to emphasize our classroom teachers, the heart of our schools. These are the professionals who show up every day with the commitment and care, ensuring that every student has the opportunity to learn, grow, and succeed. Their insight and experience must remain central to every conversation about what our students need. As educators, we've stepped up in countless ways. We advocated for students to have access to proper nutrition, quality equipment, well-maintained classrooms, updated books, and the most dedicated, well-prepared educators standing in front of them. Our members actively serve on committees, pilot new textbooks and programs, and lead with the goal of ensuring student success across our district. We are committed to continuing open dialogue with our school board and district leadership, but dialogue must lead to action. If we are truly to attract and retain exceptional educators and leaders, we must prioritize the support, resources, and professional growth that our classrooms demand. Let us not only work to say we shine, but also to continue to show it through bold steps and shared accountability. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you. Up next, we have Terry Boykins. Welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. Once again, Terry Boykins, Executive Director of Project Fighting Chance. Just wanted to bring the board president, superintendent up to some date on some things that we are pretty excited about. Project Fighting Chance is constantly being contacted by organizations around the country about what we're doing here in San Bernardino, some of the progress that we're making after school, some of the issues you start talking about, drug intervention and so forth that's happening. So tomorrow, I'm pretty excited about what's happening. We'll be at Arroyo Valley High School. Terry Washington will be, after 2 years, will basically do a boxing showcase after competing for, of course, the Olympics and turning pro. And some of you may now know that he has received the WBF World Champion. We'll be going for the WBC November 29th at Pechanga. And so they're going to host him. And I wanted to share with you, we do not take our relationship with EXL lightly at all. Had it not been for this after-school program, Terry Washington would not have been a world champion. Somewhere to go after school, somewhere safe to go, someone to talk to, resources provided, staff provided, it would not have happened. And part of our being back on campuses, tomorrow, I believe about 11:45, we're going to step onto Arroyo's campus with 3 national champions, Terry being a world champion, of course. And we're going to talk about, what it takes to train and why fitness is important and why social emotional learning is important. But also, too, how to really deal with conflict and aggression and violence, and to make sure that that message comes through clear with alumni from San Bernardino City Unified School District that have been in the schools, that have graduated from the schools, and have gone on to do some great things in their respective sports. But we also understand that our responsibility in giving back, whatever we accomplish, is due to the educators as well as the students and the youth in this community that are looking for those individuals that are out in the ranks that will make a difference. And we're going to do that. And I can tell you, if you've not seen the Lopez brothers and Terry put on the boxing showcase demonstration, it is absolutely phenomenal. We are looking to excite some young people tomorrow. And with the message of the importance of education and the importance of family and the importance of being responsible for doing the best that you can do to ensure that your community is safe as a young person. And so that's what we're going to do. The other thing I wanted to share with you, if you have not seen it, the San Bernardino Police Department and Project Fighting Chance has entered into a 40-week commitment after school, which they are there every week. And there is a video that has caught the attention around the United States, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to encourage you to watch the video of your students after school at Project Fighting Chance. It's going to amaze you. Don't cry. You may have cried. People have told me that they've cried after watching the video. But it is pretty touching, but it's exciting that people around the country are seeing the youth at Project Fighting Chance. Of course, we're at the Ruben Campos Community Center, and we also are at school sites. We were just assigned Arroyo. We're excited, but we also just today received an inquiry to bring the showcase to San G, and I think on to San Bernardino and then to Cajon High School. And so the high school population, we know that that's the last 4 years, and life happens, life be lifing, adulting be adulting, and we have some young people who have gone on to be champion. I think that we'll have an opportunity to serve them well by sharing some of the experiences, but some challenges that it takes to be a champion. So, we're going to ask on the school site tomorrow where our champion is at. So that will be exciting. And also we have on November 22nd, our annual Jabathon event, which is exciting from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night, nonstop, boxing, fitness, workout, social emotional needs, mental health, stress, trauma, all the things we're going to be reaching out. Our goal is to basically have about 600 young people come out and work out with us. And the coaches are ready. The circuit will be ready. And without a question, Project Fighting Chance will be ready. And so we want to invite you all to take a look at what we're doing. I'm going to give some cards again to the website that we can get to. But without a question, I want to let the community know, the board know, check out the video of the work that your youth, your student, your scholars, your At Promise students have put in after school. After school programs, without a question, have changed the lives of young people at that gym. So I want to say thank you, EXL.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tillman.
Yeah, Mr. Boykin, I want to thank you for coming down. And
Thank you.
I just want to commend you guys on your success, but it hasn't always been easy.
No,
I remember over 20 years ago getting a call from the late Greg Ball, who's my fraternity brother, and they were Fighting Chance was losing their spot at Ecclesia.
correct.
And I was able to make some phone calls and got them set up someplace else. And then they ended up at Paris Hill Park for a little while. And then I know you guys have been to a lot of different places. There was a point where the district got money to do tutoring programs and after-school programs, and that was the opportunity that we used to bring in Fighting Chance as an after-school program in the very beginning. But I remember when it was just barely holding on, and I want to commend Ian Franklin because he's been there from day one, and this was his passion and his love. And I know you guys have touched so many students in the district. I know we talk about Terry a lot, but for every Terry, there's 1,000 kids that you guys have benefited and saved their lives that we'll never hear their names. But Terry is one that happened to be just great in boxing, but you guys do more than just teach boxing. So I just want to commend you on your work and the district staff, because the district staff has to take the steps to work with you guys to allow us to cross the T's and dot the I's to make this stuff happen to benefit our kids. So I just want to say thank you.
Danny, thank you very much. And I know I'm out of time, but I also want to say, to Dr. Gwen Rogers, that was also very key, as you know, making that happen. And Dr. Margaret Hill, I mean, just has touched Terry's life when you start talking about making a difference. That is one of the things that I have expected. I have a tenure left. I probably about 9 months I'll be able to put in with Project Fighting Chance, being called back into some corporate things that I'm looking forward to do to make a difference. And so I wanted to make sure that these young people had the experience of Project Fighting Chance, but they also have a commitment to this community, not to just achieve athletically, but to be responsible citizens and to make a difference. And as Dr. Wyatt, I've had a chance to be out to the community schools, and we're touching a lot of young people, which is very good, because I do believe the message that I'm adamant about sharing around this country is, before you judge San Bernardino, really think about what greatness these youth and how good these young people, we have some great young people in this community that are really going places and doing things. And so I want to say thank you, Dr. Rodriguez and EXL, and what's happening with Ann. I've had a chance to work with Ann for years. I'm looking forward to the next 7 or 8 months with Project Fighting Chance. I'll be working in a different capacity, dealing with some other things that I'm looking forward to. Once again, back in corporate America, I've been asked to do some things. And so I think that we want to take some young people with us and create some opportunities and see how they become the next true champions of everything that we do, and not just in the boxing ring. So thank you, everyone.
And just a fun fact, me and Mr. Boykins went to college together about 42 years ago.
You started talking about
At
fraternity
Cal State
days and
San
stuff,
Bernardino. He was the Kappa, I was the Sigma, yep.
I appreciate you, Danny.
Mr. Boykins, before
Yes.
you leave, I have a quick question. That video that you referenced, where can I find that, or what is it called?
Actually, you'll go right to the Project Fighting Chance website, and there'll be a tab that will take you right to the video.
Awesome. And then the November 22nd event location for that?
Ruben Campos Community Center. We'll basically be putting all kinds of announcements and promotions out for that. But that right there, Madam President, will basically involve individuals from around the Inland Empire that will come into San Bernardino, Ruben Campos. I know Terry actually was just the speaker at the CFS Independent Living at Valley College. And so we'll be reaching out to foster youth, system impact youth, school district without a question. And we'll basically make sure that they get a chance to come in and not only talk to the coaches that have helped create those champions, but for them to understand that they can work out as a champion. They can be a champion as well. And we want to make sure that they do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm going to share
appreciate
this with everyone.
All right. Up next, we have Mr. Edwin Delgado. Welcome. Good to see you.
We have champions in the city of San Bernardino. Our students are champions. Our board members are champions. So good evening, Board President Ceballos, members of the board, Superintendent Arellano, Executive Cabinet, distinguished guests, and members of the public. My name is Edwin Delgado, and I'm here representing Vice Chair of the Board of Supervisors, Joe Baca Jr. And I'd like to just speak on item 10.6. And as part of our continued investment in students in schools around the 5th District, Supervisor Baca, a former teacher, proudly championed $1.3 million to support a playground improvements at Arrowhead Elementary School. This project represents a shared commitment between San Bernardino County and SBCUSD to creating safe, engaging spaces where students can learn, play, and grow We want to extend our sincere appreciation and thanks to this board, Superintendent Arellano, Director Tom Pace, and the facilities planning and development team and the construction crews for their commitment to bringing this project to life. And on behalf of the Supervisor Baca, we want to thank you for your continued investment to our students, our children, our families, and your commitment to the city of San Bernardino. Together, we continue to build brighter futures. And in this case, it is one playground at a time. Thank you all. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing on another note. On this Friday, we will be hosting our College and Career Day, where students will be able to experience different departments, careers in different departments in our county, as well as we will have representatives from different schools, higher education, from colleges and universities to speak to our students. And we are very grateful for the students of San Bernardino City Unified School District for being in attendance and participation, as well as we have our fourth cohort of our Youth Advisory Council, where students get to learn about local government and also get to participate in community projects. And San Bernardino City Unified School District students showed up. We have representation from all high schools, and we are very, very grateful for your commitment to our students. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And one quick question. Did I hear correctly? Is it your event? Is it this coming Friday or did it pass this past Friday?
It's this Friday. So
Okay.
it's this Friday at the Government Center, San Bernardino County Government Center.
Hours?
It will be from 9 o'clock, and we can send you over, send the board flyers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And of course, always really, really appreciate Supervisor Baca's continued support for our communities, especially here in San Bernardino. So, on our behalf, thank you to him.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Up next, we have I believe it's Lanila Moreno. Oh, Janila. Sorry about that. Welcome.
Push the microphone button.
On the bottom.
There we go.
Awesome.
Good evening, board members, staff, students. I am Janila Marino, a product of San Bernardino Unified School District. As I stand before you, I reflect on the phenomenal education experience I had from pre-kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. But I realize many of my peers and many of the current students are not sharing the same phenomenal experience with their education. And as I pursue my higher education, I found myself facing a truth that cultivated the world we live in. The United States education system was built to create workers, not innovators. The current curriculum and methodology being used to teach our students is creating a gap between the power of technology and our human potential to evolve with it. There's a lot to unpack concerning that statement. And as I conversed with Mr. Tillman yesterday concerning some of the issues, I realized there's not one solution, one person, or even a realistic timeline to make the changes necessary to reconstruct an education system that embraces the true definition of innovation. With that being said, I come before you with a posture of humility, faith, and the Spirit of God as a willing vessel sent to create change for our children. San Bernardino City Unified School District operates on values including human potential, equity, safety, collaboration, professionalism, resilience, innovation, diversity, and pride. These are all values I agree with, and I want to work with you, board members, students, and staff, and the system as a whole to create an education system that our students deserve. Thank you.
Thank you so much. for coming and sharing that with us. And, hopefully you left your information, and we hope to hopefully hear from you. And I personally hope to hear from you. So reach out.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you so much for coming.
Is there any questions concerning that statement?
I don't.
Or-
Ms. Grande?
I'm, okay, you've piqued my interest. I'm listening, and I really would like to hear, what do you wish for yourself? What is your big dream, your biggest dream, if you could do anything you wanted to do with, just anything, your biggest dream?
That's a big question, but my biggest dream is to, from a young age, to make the world a more beautiful place. I know that sounds pretty cliche, but my biggest dream is to see the full potential of our society as a whole, as a race of just being a Black girl in this world. I go through a lot of oppositions, and I just want to make this place, or the people that I impact, reach their full potential. So my biggest dream is to help and to serve the community in a way that impacts the world significantly forever, to leave a mark in history.
Right, and so what are your tools or resources or people that you see that could help you get to that point?
Well, I'm just starting out, so I was hoping that the school board would maybe do some collaboration with me. I'm in the business of analyzing policies more than anything, because that's what really sets the foundation for everything that we do. So that's what I would want as far as collaboration with the school board and anyone who is willing to make a change.
Are you in high school now or college?
I'm in college, yes.
Which year, if you don't mind?
I am in my junior year.
Junior
Miss-
year.
Yes.
Very good.
Ms. Grande, I'm going to just kind of point of order. We accept your comments, and we appreciate you coming out. And I believe we have your information here. So
Yes.
any one of my colleagues is welcome to reach out. You're also welcome to reach out to us. Our emails are on the website. And so we wish you the best of luck in your college
Thank you.
education.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to, that was all comments. Awesome. Moving on to 4.0 closed session, 4.1 closed session public comments.
There are none.
Thank you. 4.2 closed session. We will adjourn now. Thank you. All right. It looks like we have a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and get us started. So welcome, everyone. All right, 5.0 action reported from closed session. (5.1) expulsion of students. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts and adopts the recommendation and findings of the hearing panel based on a review of the panel's findings of facts and recommendations, and orders the expulsion of the following students with the identification numbers as listed below in accordance with the board rules and regulations and in compliance with Education Section 4, Section 48900.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote, please. Motion carries. 5.2, student recommended for suspension or expulsion, excluding mandatory offenses, but remanded to youth court for other means of correction. Be it resolved, the Board of Education accepts and adopts the recommendation and findings of facts of positive youth development and orders the suspension or expulsion of the following students with the identification numbers as listed below in accordance with the board and board rules and regulations and in compliance with Ed Code Section 48900.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Ms. Medina. Vote, please. Motion carries. 5.3, lift readmit of expulsion of students. Be it resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the readmission of the following student with the identification number as indicated below to schools of the San Bernardino City Unified School District in accordance with the board rules and regulations and in compliance with Ed Code Section 48900.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote, please. Motion carries. 5.4, petition to expunge, rescind, sealing of record, or modify youth court or expulsion. Be it resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the expulsion and/or youth court modification, expungement, or rescinding of the following student with the identification number as indicated below to the schools of the San Bernardino City Unified School District in accordance with board rules and regulations and in compliance with Ed Code Section 48900.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote, please. Motion carries. 5.5, other closed session. There is none to report. 6.0, student board member. 6.1, reports and comments. I'll go ahead and start with Ms. Cervantes.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank President Ceballos and Vice President Aviles, as well as the board members, for having me today. I'm Valeria Cervantes, a junior and a representative from Arroyo Valley High School. Overall, I would like to thank all the custodians for keeping our campuses clean. On October 2nd, we celebrated National Custodian Appreciation Day. Our custodians work hard every single day to keep our campuses safe and clean. Overall, I noticed how well maintained Arroyo Valley is, showing a clean and welcoming environment that helps students feel safe and focused for the start of the school year. At Arroyo Valley, this October, our school is proud to showcase its strong sense of community spirit and student involvement through a series of exciting and meaningful events. Seniors will receive dedicated support with their college applications on October 15th and 16th, while the homecoming game on October 24th and the dance on October 25th will bring students together in celebration of school spirit. Over 400 students will take the PSCT, reflecting our ongoing commitment to academic achievement. In addition, the VAPA Festival and Trunk or Treat will highlight the creativity of our visual and performing arts, as well as clubs to fulfill this role. The juniors and seniors will participate in a distractive driving assembly focused on safety and awareness. Together, these activities represent the vibrant, well-rounded spirits of our community. And San Andres recently celebrated its end of a quarter graduation, recognizing seniors who have completed all their credits and are ready to take the next step towards higher education. In San Bernardino High School, Western University Optometry will be visiting the campus on October 22nd to provide free vision screenings and glasses for students. They also celebrated a successful homecoming dance last week, filled with school spirit and fun memories. Seniors can now begin submitting their college applications as they prepare for the next chapter in their academic journeys. Meanwhile, the boys and girls soccer seasons are quickly approaching with tryouts held last week, and the unified flag football team is nearly completed with just 2 more members to get started. Together, these milestones and activities highlight the dedication and growth that define our school's communities. Therefore, these are some of the things highlighted by the schools. Thank you again for having me today.
Thank you so much for that wonderful report. Up next, we have Ms. Martina Sosa.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ademi Martinez. I am currently a junior and representative for Indian Springs High School. Now, I wanted to take a moment to thank the Department of Secondary Education, as well as our lovely superintendent, Dr. Rodriguez. I know I've already thanked her once before, but you know, you guys don't even know like how much she does for us. I'm so grateful, and she helped me she helped me to connect with them actually. And I had spoken to them regarding a topic at Watney School, and they treated me with nothing but respect and hospitality while being efficient. I'm so honored to be in a district with such distinguished staff that not only ensure that our voices are heard, but that we are also attended to in a timely manner. Next. So many great things going on in our schools. Firstly, at Indian Springs High School, we held an innovative fundraiser where students and staff could buy from Chipotle on certain days at a certain location to help the school earn money for ASB. We are also preparing for a homecoming parade in many clubs, building and creating physical items to carry across our football field. And another thing to point out is that we were doing our PSAT, which helped us to prepare for our SAT in March. Additionally, at Pacific High School, their football teams remains undefeated. On October 5th, HOSA at Pacific participated in the Believe Walk, which was a 5K walk to support and empower those fighting breast cancer. Furthermore, at Middle College High School, this past week they had a cultural spirit week where students were able to wear their jerseys to represent their countries. And another day was traditional cultural dress, a day showing the diversity amongst students. During that same week, the junior class got the opportunity to visit the USC campus, exploring future options for higher education. Notably, September 15th was our first SLAC meeting of the year, where we were introduced to both new and familiar faces. During the introductions of many important people, all the student board members had the wonderful opportunity to present their hopes for SLAC. We also created slides of ourselves to introduce who we are to our peers in SLAC, so they can feel more comfortable around us and look to us if they ever have any worries regarding, anything. Like, you are here and where are your peers? SLAC also ran an activity where we were divided into groups in order to get to know others. Towards the end, we had the honor of Superintendent Mr. Arellano coming to talk to us. To talk to the students about districts, and he gave a very speech that was very touching and inspiring to many. The SLAC meeting overall went very smoothly. Thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much for that wonderful report as well. And we will go ahead and move on to 7.0 administrative reports and presentations, 7.1 tip ETSA presentation, and I will go ahead and pass it over to Mrs. Applegate, our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Thank you, Board President Ceballos. So good evening, Board, Mr. Superintendent Mauricio Arellano, the rest of the Cabinet, and our viewing audience. We are extremely proud to bring you this update on our TIP policy. As you know, Board, you have been proactive for years. I know, Mr. Tillman, you were there at the inception back in 2007. So we're very proud to bring you all the updates and show you just how much we've moved that needle in the last 4 years. So we're very excited, and I'm very proud of Dr. Greer and his team and the whole Ed Services team for working collaboratively toward the African American student achievement. So without further ado, I'd like to bring you the official report here, and just know that the data has not yet been unembargoed, but I think you'll be very pleased that it's trending in the right direction, and you will see that possibly in November or December. You'll see the actual numbers. But Dr. Greer will talk a little bit about how that data is going up, and we're very proud of that. So without further ado, Dr. Greer, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Applegate and Cabinet and Board. Thank you so much for having us. We are so excited to be here. Very glad to be here tonight to give a report on the TIP policy and the work that we're doing in the Department of Equity and Targeted Student Achievement. And I want to start by saying really thank you to all of you for your courageous leadership, your support of all of our students, and I think especially for your understanding that while many students don't experience school or life equally, it's important that we really apply, be creative, and use equity strategies to sort of fill in the gap and make sure that all students are having their needs met. And that's exactly why our department was created. And I also know that it's not always easy, especially in our climate to support equity strategies, but I do think it's the moral thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. So I'm grateful for your integrity and for your leadership, your courageous leadership. And I also want to give a shout out to all of the many parents and community leaders who we have here with us tonight. Many folks who, thought long and hard about how to create equity in this district, in this community, and folks who were a part of the fight for a long time. So we want to thank all of them for being here. And I want to give many, many thanks to our superintendent, Mr. Ariano, for his courageous and consistent focus on educational equity. When he rejoined the district, one of the things that he did was he convened a number of panels, community folks, parents, leaders, teachers, counselors, and the like, asking them specifically about what was important here in San Bernardino. And so he listened, and out of those conversations, equity kind of rose to the fore as a top priority. So we want to thank you from the Department of ETSA, Mr. Ariano, for listening and for your leadership, for leading from the front and for making it a key part of our Vision 2030, excuse me. But we want to take a quick look at our TIP policy, and then what we'll do is give an overview of how we're doing on all the objectives. And so we have, as you can see here, the policy, which was established in 2007, has a number of priorities. And so among them are English and reading, math, A through G completion, access to advanced courses, family engagement, district professional development. We also have in our department some oversight of our Sankofa Magnet program. Many thanks to Dr. Lynn Cooper, who was the first director of the ETSA department, for starting the Sankofa Magnet. Him and Dr. White, I know, talked a lot about it and were able to put it together. So we're running that program now. We also have an initiative around Pacific Islander student success. And then, of course, we are now providing a racial slurs workshop and protocol. So we'll talk about each one of those and how that work is coming along. I wanted to first just share briefly here that while our preliminary data are that we have preliminary data which are showing improvements for African American students in many of the key TIP areas. And so that includes ELA in reading, math, A through G, high school graduation, and dual enrollment. Our dual enrollment numbers are getting much better. We have some of our partners here from San Bernardino Valley College. And this is something that we've been thinking critically about. I want to really give some props and a shout out to Dr. Venkatesan from secondary education, because I know dual enrollment is at the top of her mind as well. So we want to make sure that our kids are graduating A through G and are getting a chance to access those courses at the community college. So this is something that we're working hard on, and we've seen a considerable increase in the number of kids who are taking those classes and earning credit for them. And then we've also seen a decrease in suspensions and chronic absenteeism, and many thanks to the work of PYD, Dr. Bikendova, Dr. Rodriguez. And I know that official data will be released and shared with the board in November. So I want to share our wonderful, amazing team, all these good folks in the Sankofa polo shirts. And we're going to say more about them in the upcoming slides. But one of the things that I'm really proud of is how, with Mrs. Applegate's fearless leadership and support, we've been able to organize and build a team to take on the major goals listed in the TIP policy. And so this is our team we are so proud of and thankful for these people. And I'm just personally really grateful to work with them. They probably don't hear me say that a lot, but I am very grateful for them, very grateful for the work that they do and for their tireless effort with teachers, with counselors, with kids here in this community. And so before we talk about our TIP objectives, I wanted to give a shout out and I wanted to highlight the important work of one of our program specialists, Miss Francine Blacksher. After the pandemic, Mrs. Blacksher was doing some work around Pacific Islander students, just sort of as an affinity and just as a love and as a passion. And so it was worked out so that she could join our department. And though her work is not a part of the TIP policy, I just wanted to point out that she is supporting hundreds of Pacific Islander and Filipino high school students. Her major objectives are the same as ours for African American students, A through G, college readiness, She's doing student check-ins. She runs a parent advisory, the Pacific Islander Advisory. And I know Dr. White has been a champion and a supporter of that, as well as celebrating community and cultural wealth. And then she also runs an entire graduation ceremony every year for anybody who's an Islander can come and participate in that, whether they are a high school or a college student. I think her work is important because she is advocating for a community that's in the minority in a lot of ways. And I think as a consequence of that, their voices, they don't always feel seen or heard. And so what Mrs. Blacksher is doing is she's making sure that she's standing in the gap and making sure that everybody that has a champion, I'd like to say. So I really just want to thank Mrs. Blacksher for her advocacy. She's a champion and a warrior. Next, we're going to share some program enrollment data, and I want to give a lot of thanks to Dr. Cleveland's staff in AET, Eric Nuno. I was on the phone with Eric today, making sure that we had these data correct, and so I want to thank them for all of their help and their leadership. I want to thank Dr. Kelly, our Child Development Director, and Dr. Clark, our Gate Coordinator, for their help as well. I'll just give you a quick overview. As you can see, we have about 3,600 African American students here in the district. And that number goes up to about 6,000 when we include students who are more than one race. Our district overall serves about 90% of students, of all of our students, who are socioeconomically disadvantaged. So we just support a community with a lot of need. And we have 84 students in our Sankofa Magnet this year. That is a considerable increase. Many thanks to this lady sitting next to me, Mrs. Casey. Our number of students in honors and AP courses is up. So about 31% of all of our African American high school students are taking an honors or an AP course. And that's many thanks to Dr. Beckles and our equity counselors. And I'm going to talk more about their work in a minute, as well as dual enrollment. And so 18% of all African American students, that's about 1 in 5, almost 1 in 5, if they're in high school, they're taking a dual enrollment course. So we're very proud about that, and we're going to continue to push those numbers up. So next, we're going to give you an overview of our work toward each TIP priority. And the first one is elementary reading. So we've got 4 full-time program specialists, and they are amazing. I want to give a shout out and many thanks to Miss Roxanne Williams, Ms. Shonda Legesimy, Ms. Marcia Hunter, and Ms. Renita Marshall Martin, as well as to Tamika Casey, who helps lead and manage this work. They are providing training and leadership and coaching to 32 equity guest teachers who are working at 30 schools, 30 elementary schools. They're showing up every day to help fill in those reading gaps and make sure kids are learning to read at grade level. They're also supporting 24 focus teachers at 15 schools. So these are teachers who have larger numbers of African American students. And so they're in their classes, coaching them, supporting them, collaborating with them, specifically around what we call gap closing teaching. And collectively, our ELA equity work is serving about 1,000 students daily. And I just want to show you the schools. So here you can see a visual of the 30 elementary focus sites. Now we have some really promising preliminary results that we're going to share in November when the data are unembargoed by the state, by the CDE. I want to thank Dr. Coker for the work that she's leading in elementary instruction, Ms. Archuleta for the work that she's leading with the focus schools. We have a lot of schools in common, and thanks to our principals and TOSAs and teachers at those sites. And so these are the sites where we have our equity guest teachers. And again, they're showing up every day working specifically with students to make sure that we're closing the gaps in reading. And I'm going to talk more about their work next. So again, we have 32 equity guest teachers. We call them EGTs. So they provide daily small group reading support to upper grade students, primarily African American students. They're providing intervention for struggling readers, and I'll talk about that in a second. All struggling SBCUSD students get similar support. So I want to point out that if you are a student with need here in the district, reading need, literacy need in particular in elementary, you're going to get some additional support during the day. That's just baked in. It's just a part of how we do business under Miss Applegate and just some of the interventions that she has as woven together. And so we're making sure that our African American kids and other kids are absolutely getting that support. And then we have our 24 focus teachers. And again, these teachers have an ETSA coach. These are teachers with 6 or more African-American students in grades 3 through 6. And these are also teachers who, coming into this year, the African-American students in their classes, are of them 50% or more scored below grade level. So we're talking about teachers with a lot of African-American kids who struggled last year, who could use some additional support if we're going to close those gaps and get those kids to grade level. And I want to talk briefly about our intervention here. So in ETSA, we're trying to get better and better at first ensuring that we close the foundational reading gaps that some African-American elementary students have. And second, we want to ensure that students can fully comprehend grade level texts. And third, we want to ensure that students understand and are prepared for what they will see on the state test. And so this is the curriculum that we're using. Our students now who are in the reading intervention in upper grades elementary, they're getting a curriculum called Rewards. And this is focused on filling in the foundational reading gaps. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But we're going to transition them around December or January to another curriculum called ACT, Accessing Complex Texts. And this is more so designed to really make sure that they are able to comprehend grade level text at a deep level, because that's really where we need to take them next. And so let me show you what we're talking about. And I think Mr. Chavez is going to play some video clips for us. Each of these is about 40 seconds.
Last line. What's this part right here? Back. And then? Bone. The O is saying its name. Put them together. Backbone. Backbone. Make it real. Backbone. That's like our spine, right? You can feel your backbone. What's this part right here? Hand. And then? Shake. Put them together. Handshake. Sounds real to me. Handshake. Last one, a bit of a tough one. What's the first part? Ob. Middle part? So. And then? Lead. The E is saying its name, right? Lead. So put them together. One more time. Let's recap. Go. Ob. So. Lead. Put them together. Obsolete. There you go. Obsolete.
So what we're looking at right now is, what's this word? Sam. Sam. And what word did we just write the last time? And. What if I get rid of this S right here? What word is that? And. So doesn't it just have the S sound in front of it? Yeah. What is that S sound again? So we know that if I do that S, it gives me what? Sam. Nice job. Awesome. So we all have that written down, right? Perfect. All right, so let's go to our next part. So our next part is going to be a sentence. You guys want to try a sentence?
I just want to point out that, you had Latino students, African-American students in that group. Our EGTs, they have a caseload of students that they support, but they can help anybody. And we want to make sure that the kids with need are getting the support that they need. Can we play the last one, Mr. Chavez?
Now let's put that in front of old. Give me the S sound. And if I put S in front of old, I have what? Soul. So if I can say old, I can say gold. If I can say gold, I can say soul. Right? Penelope, give me a.
Thank you. So we know that that's important because by the third grade, students are expected to know and do these kinds of tasks. And so when you look at the questions here, the first one, read the passage about spacewalks. What does the use of the word simulation suggest? Select 3 options. These are third grade released items on the state test that our third graders see, or the kinds of items that they see rather. The second one, give 2 facts from source 2 about the early life stages of insects. And then lastly, which of the 2 sources has the most helpful information about what it's like to live on an island? Explain why this source has the most useful information. Support your answer with at least 2 details. And again, these are the released items from our state test, the CASP or the SBAC. And I just want to point out here that you notice that the questions require students to comprehend multiple reading passages, scientific texts. They require strong vocabularies. There's more than one right answer, and the directions are complex. This is a long way away from me sitting in a class taking a test with a Scantron back in the day when I was in school, right? It's very different today. And so this is what we're trying to help students master. And to say more about that, we have one of our EGTs with us, Mrs. Veronica Zuniga. And then we have one of our outstanding 5th grade students, Mr. Ronnie Huerta. And so we're going to have them come on down and just say a few words about the work that they're doing and how Mrs. Zuniga is helping Mr. Huerta. So
Dr.
can you
Greer,
guys come on down?
Dr. Greer, what is an EGT?
It's an equity guest teacher.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Veronica Zuniga, and I'm proud to serve as an EGT or equity guest teacher at Bonio Elementary. In my role as an EGT, I have had the privilege to provide academic and emotional support to the scholars on my caseload. The academic area that I focus on is reading, and I do this by working with students either one-on-one or in small groups, and help them improve skills such as decoding, reading fluency, and comprehension. I have seen firsthand how building these areas in their academic lives increases their confidence in other areas like the playground. My role as an EGT also includes collecting data through various forms of assessment such as fluency passages, CASP, NWA scores, and others in order to track students' progress. Our aim as a department is to improve assessment scores among African American students in our schools and ultimately work towards closing the educational gap that has been historically in place for our African American scholars. But beyond academics, I also emphasize social emotional regulation by incorporating daily affirmations into our routine and model for my students that how we speak to ourselves truly matters. I remind my students that simple statements like "I can do hard things" reminds us of our potential. Being an EGT has deeply inspired me and has made me hopeful about our youth and our future. As an IE native myself, I recognize that we must continue to foster more environments with this important work in mind. And for this reason, I made the decision to go back to school, and I'm proud to share that I recently completed my Spanish teaching credential through CSUSB, and I'm actively pursuing having a classroom of my own. I share all of this to say that I'm just one example of how ETSA inspires educators to come into this field and truly make a difference in our communities. I'm grateful to be part of a department like ETSA that believes in equity, growth, and providing professional support for their educators. It's now my pleasure to welcome one of my bright scholars whom I have had the pleasure of working with and that I'm extremely proud of, Ronnie Huerta. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Huerta. I'm a student at Bonio Elementary School. I'm in 5th grade. I have been in Ms. Zuniga's group since 3rd grade. In her group, I use rewards program, and it helps me learn prefixes and suffixes, and it also helps me to read long paragraphs and words.
Ronnie, let me ask you to stay up here for a second, young fella, because I just want to point out that last year, and I think you know this, you may know this, I know you know this. Last year, we give a test in our district called the NWEA, and it's sort of an internal assessment. Ronnie last year, I want to say he jumped something like 3 bands on this assessment. So from one of the lower scoring areas, he was one of the top scorers on the ELA test in our district last year. So you did an excellent job. I don't know if I've been able to tell you that in person, but great job, Ronnie. Yep.
Can I ask Ronnie a question? Can I ask you a question, Ronnie? So what made the biggest difference in making you more successful in your school studies?
It made me more successful to having Ms. Zuniga.
Thank you.
Good job, sir. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Move to the next one. That's all right. Okay. So We want to transition now and talk about our second priority, which is math, and many thanks to our math equity team, Ms. Chitty Kalu, Ms. Ajaye Green, and Ms. Lupe Gomez, 3 dynamic, fantastic math educators. And we want to give thanks to our equity guest teachers, our EGTs, who are providing daily math intervention support to our African American middle school students. We have 11 equity guest teachers at 8 schools, and we have 17 focus teachers at 13 schools, middle schools, that are getting support here. And our math support focuses on grades 5 through 8, so most of it takes place in middle school. But we do offer some support for upper grades elementary as well. And collectively, they're supporting about 750 students a day. And so we'll give you a quick visual of the sites where our EGTs and where our focus teachers are. We have preliminary promising results for these sites as well that are going to be shared in November. And we want to thank Dr. Venkatesan for the work that she's leading in secondary education, Ms. Bikendova for the work that she's leading with the focus schools, and of course, thanks to all of our principals and TOSAs and teachers. So our equity guest teachers, again, we have 11 of them, and they provide daily math push-in support, primarily at the middle school level. They do some small group pull-out as well. And equity guest teachers, again, can help any struggling student in class. And again, we also have the 17 focus teachers, and those teachers likewise have an ETSA coach. At the middle school level, they have 10 or more African-American students across their periods. And of that student group, over 50% of them scored below grade level last year. So that's what we're trying to fix. That's what we're trying to ameliorate. We want to get the majority of those kids to be scoring at or above grade level in math. And so our approach, again, many thanks to Ms. Applegate for organizing this and leading this, but it's an approach where we're focused on the tier 1 support that the teachers are giving. Our program specialists are pushing into select classes with a lot of African-American students to make sure that they get support, instructional support. And then we also have the equity guest teachers who are providing daily intervention. So it's a coordinated effort, cumulative effort, with our goal ultimately to make sure that kids are learning what they need to learn so we can catch them up. And we're trying to get better and better at that work. Go to the next slide. Okay, and so we have 2 folks from Shannon Hills. Yeah, Sam. Thank you. So we have one of our EGTs, Mr. Ellis Stevens. So he's over at Shannon Hills. We were going to have him say a few words. And our 8th grade student, Miss Audrey Elder, over at Shannon Hills as well. Thank you, guys. Come on down. You guys can clap.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Ellis Stevens, and I'm an equity guest teacher at Shannon Hills Middle School. I'm here to speak about the important role of our equity guest teachers play in supporting the African American students in math in the San Bernardino City Unified School District. At Shannon Hills, we've seen that academic success grows when students feel seen, supported, and confident in their learning environment. Our equity guest teachers help create that environment every single day. We provide targeted academic support in math by helping students who may be struggling build foundational skills, close learning gaps, and develop a stronger understanding of key concepts. But our impact goes beyond academics. We build relationships rooted in trust and understanding. For many of our African American students, having an equity guest teacher who believes in them, holds them accountable, and encourages them to keep pushing forward has made all the difference. We've seen more engagement in the classroom, improved confidence in math, and a greater sense of belonging amongst students who work with equity guest teachers. Personally, being able to sit beside them, walk them through a tough math problem, and then seeing that moment when it finally clicks, that's powerful. Those moments remind me why this work matters. Our goal is equity. We ensure that every student receives the support they need to succeed, and we are helping them live that mission. Our work isn't just valuable, it is essential to the success of our African American students and to the success of our school as a whole. Thank you for your time and continued support of this work.
Good evening. My name is Audrey Yoder, and I'm in 8th grade. I wanted to talk about how much this program has helped me stay focused and organized. Before I joined, I was honestly struggling to keep up with my math homework. I felt like it was way too much, and I was getting pretty overwhelmed. But since I started, I've been able to finish all my math homework every week and turn in all my math assignments on time. Just being organized like that has helped me understand things so much better. As a result, I'm proud to say I have a good grade in math, which has made me feel way more confident. This program has made a huge difference for me, and I feel a lot more prepared for what's next.
Thank you, dear. And I haven't had a chance to meet Miss Elder before, but I tell you, the last time I looked, she had 0 missing assignments in Aries in math. She had no missing assignments, so well done. Thank you, guys. So next up, we're going to talk about our high school equity work, and we have a fantastic high school equity team. Dr. Josie Beckles, who is our high school equity program specialist. Yeah, y'all can clap for Dr. Beckles if you like. Very grateful. We have Miss Carolyn Larkin, who is our equity counselor over at Indian Springs. Miss Siobhan Anthony, who's our equity counselor at Cajon. Miss Nikisha Crawford, who's our equity counselor at San Gorgonio. I'm sorry, I said San Gorgonio. She's at San Bernardino High. Excuse me, forgive me. Miss Samantha Cannon, who's our equity counselor at San Gorgonio. And then we have Mr. Malik Ross, who is our equity counselor at Pacific, and he couldn't be here tonight because he went ahead and had a baby on Sunday. And he felt that was important. So now we're very grateful for our team. We also have our colleagues from Valdez Tutoring, and they have been a very important partner. And so I want to thank Mr. Valdez and his team, as well as Kimber Sargent in Categorical for providing the funds so that we can have daily math push-in tutoring. And so we have 11 math tutors who are at 5 high schools, and they are pushing into math class every day to make sure that kids who are struggling, especially if you are getting a D or an F, if you got a D or an F in the grade book, then the counselors are going to push the tutor directly into your class during the day so that you can get that help during the day, not at lunch, not after school, not at home, but during the day in math class. And collectively, they're supporting about 800 students. And so I want to share some of our math DF rate data because this is one of the areas where you can just see a significant impact, right? And so sort of our high school equity work can be seen directly, the impact of it in these DNF rates, which have continuously dropped over the last several years. Now, the blue bars show what the African-American student DF rates were right before COVID. So that was in that first semester right before COVID, because a couple months later, we went to virtual learning. The gray bars show the second semester of 2023-24, and the orange bars show the second semester of 2024-25. And so you can see that after COVID, after we started building our high school equity team, and after we added daily math push-in tutoring, the math DF rates dropped from the 40, 60, and 70% range to now the 20 and 30% range at most of our high schools. And the training from secondary ed on standards-based grading and our high school principals adding more math support classes have been extremely important as well. And the DNF rates are important because ultimately we want our students to have the grades needed to get into college. And so this year, our equity counselors gave our seniors a post-secondary plan survey to see what their plans are for life after high school. And so what you're seeing here are responses from 131 of 194 African-American seniors at 5 comprehensive high schools. That's Cajon, Indian Springs, Pacific, San Bernardino High, and San Gorgonio. And so I'll just take a second here to allow you to kind of check out the data and the results from the kids. But as you can see for that first item, about 53% of students said that they either have a clear plan for what they want to do after high school or they have some ideas but aren't quite sure. 89% of the kids said that they indeed want to go to a 2 or 4 year college, right? Only 8% said that they want to take a gap year or not go to college at all. When asked about how confident they are for life after high school, only one student said that they were not confident. 99% of students rated themselves as very or somewhat confident for life after high school. Now, however, when we asked about the steps that they were taking to prepare for life after high school, only 18% said that they've taken the SAT and 15% have completed the FAFSA. It's still a little early for the FAFSA, so I know we're going to be doing some work there to make sure that kids get that done. And our district, thanks to our counselors and secondary ed and the whole team, we do a pretty good job of getting kids to complete the FAFSA. I'm not sure what the rate was last year, but I know it was pretty high. So I know that this is an area overall where we do a good job. About 85% of the kids said that they do need some help with college applications and or the FAFSA. So our team is going to be there to support them every step of the way. And then I thought these last two items were interesting. When we asked the kids where they were getting their help from, 39% said that they get help from school, from teachers, or from counselors, and 50% said that they get help from parents. So we're just going to continue to take steps to show kids that they can reach out to us, that they can come to us, that we are there to support, right? And that's really across the system, thinking about all of the staff members at our high schools.
Can I pause you for 1 second, Mrs. Alexander?
Thank you. Before I forget, I wanted to be able to ask this question. Thank you for the excellent report, and thank you to all the presenters. But I just want you to pull on, what does that mean in terms of clear plan? Is that attached to our Pathways program? What does that mean?
Life after high school. So we ask students directly if they feel like they have a clear sense of what they're going to do next year. And there were 3 options. I have a clear plan for what I want to do after high school. I have some ideas, but I'm not sure. And C, I'm unsure and need help. So we were just asking kids if they have a sense of what's coming post 12th grade.
Okay, that's good. Just do we have an idea though in terms of the students that are in the Link Learning programs? Because that would at least give them some insight to maybe that clear plan or the ability to pursue something that they have of interest.
Yeah, we can take a look. We can get more of that information.
That'd be good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So in terms of our post-secondary support, one of the things that we're excited about right now, and this is really to further help our kids be successful. So we started reaching out a couple weeks ago to HBCUs, right? And so now we're creating MOUs with several of them, including Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman, Morgan State University in Maryland, Philander Smith in Arkansas, and Wilberforce in Ohio. And it was Ms. Zapplegate who met with some of the HBCU leaders this summer, and she suggested, she came back and she was on fire, and she said, look, we need to investigate establishing some MOUs with these folks. And I remember Mr. Ariano too, bringing to us maybe about a year or so ago up in Sacramento State, because they were working to become a Black student serving institution, right? And so our leadership were saying, we need to really look at colleges that want to serve our kids well, and we need to start creating some formal partnerships with them. So that's exactly what we're doing. Our goal is to secure at least MOUs with at least 20 HBCUs by the end of this year. And in terms of agreements, we simply want to make sure that they instantly admit any SBCUSD student who meets the criteria. And then on our end, ETSA will assist students with completing the requirements. And for students who don't end up going to a university, we have Dr. Dell and Mr. Keenan Giles, who are here from Valley College. We've been talking for a while about making sure that we have a strong partnership so that we can funnel students who do not have a plan. We don't want kids to just be sitting at home. When you say, I want to take a gap year, that's like cussing to me. And I don't want to hear that from the kids. We want to make sure that kids who do not have a clear plan, a clear destination after May or June, that we can funnel them somewhere because we want them to be able to walk into a bright future. So we're looking at all avenues here. And thanks to the generous support that we got last year from Student Services and EXL, we were able to take 80 students on an HBCU tour during spring break. So we wanted to play this short video, many thanks to Mr. Chavez and Mr. Tisdale in communications, Ms. Goodwin, because they always work with us on making these videos and making the different communications for us. So can we play this video, Mr. Chavez? This was from our HBCU tour.
The college I would go to would be Howard because the fraternity there was cool and the sororities are cool, and I think I'd join a sorority also. I'm gonna say thank you, San Bernardino School Board.
Exactly for me. So, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mr. Ariano. I really appreciate you. And General, I love you. Let's do this again. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I can say I like best about this trip was exploring new colleges, seeing new architecture, things that I've never seen in California. And I think one thing that really interested me the most was the unity within our people, because you don't really see that in our state. So I just wanted to say thank you, Ms. Applegate, and I really appreciate the chance to be on this trip. One of my favorite things about the HBCU tour was learning about the 5-year MBA program at Hansford. Thank you, Mrs. Pearson.
My name is Amari Harris. I'm a junior and I go to San Bernardino High School. One thing I liked about the HBCU tour is that a lot of Black people came together and was building communication with each other. And as I walked in, it just felt like my second home. So thank you, Mr. Ariano.
Hey everybody, this is Xavier. I'm a junior at Cajon High School. One thing I like about this HBCU trip was the environment. I really enjoyed seeing people that looked like me, and it really made me feel like I was at a second home. So thank the San Bernardino Unified School District and the ETSA department for allowing me to come on this trip.
Yeah, I want to tell you guys, those kids love you guys, because we told them the board made this possible, the cabinet made this possible, Ms. Applegate made this possible, Mr. Ariano, Kimber, Mr. Comnick, that you guys made this possible. So they were very, very grateful. And I want to thank our chaperones. Tamika was a chaperone, Dr. Noel, who's our principal at Arrowhead, Navila Maxwell, who's one of our Filipino parent leaders. Rashawn Hooker, a program specialist, Brandon Gardner, who's a teacher in this district, Sasha Jones and Michael Lyons, all teachers in this district. They kept the kids safe, and they ensured that they learned a lot, and they allowed them to have fun. And so it was a good time. And on that note, I'd like to bring up one of our high school seniors, Miss Asia Lewis, a brilliant senior over at Pacific. And she'll talk about her relationship with her equity counselor.
Hi, my name is Asia Lewis. I'm 17 years old and I'm currently a senior at Pacific High School. My equity counselors have had a significant and positive impact on my high school experience, guiding me academically, personally, and emotionally throughout these important years. Mrs. Anthony had a profound impact on the first 3 years of my high school life. She was one of the main school officials I went to for anything. She always pushed me to do my very best and to maintain my academic standing. That encouragement inspired me to rise to the occasion. During the end of the last school year, I told Mrs. Anthony that I wanted to drop AP Stats from my senior schedule. She told me no and that I needed to stay in the class, so I did. Even though I have a B in the class, it's the only B that I have out of my whole schedule, and I am taking 4 AP classes and 2 college classes a semester. Her guidance and support and my high school expectations have left a lasting impact on me, and I will always be grateful for the role she played in shaping my high school journey. Similarly, Mr. Ross has become a crucial part of my senior year. When I first met Mr. Ross, I didn't think I needed another equity counselor. I was not having it, and I was so sad that she had to go. But he has become essential to my senior year. He not only holds me to high academic standards, but he challenges me to grow emotionally as well. He's honestly my therapist at this point. His guidance has made a huge difference in my confidence and success this year. Both Mrs. Anthony and Mr. Ross have pushed me to grow and supported me significantly throughout my high school journey. They were always there for me and bridged the gap when my primary counselor was not within reach. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. You know, she said, I went to Ms. Anthony and I said, look, I need to drop AP Stats. And Ms. Anthony said no. And as a result, I'm in AP Stats right now. And that really, I mean, what better example of the work, what it really typifies the importance, how essential the equity counselors are, because somebody has to stand in the gap and say, no, you can do it, right? Give it your best. You will be successful. Apply yourself. Try hard. You got this. And ultimately, this is going to be for your good. And maybe I see something that you may not be able to see right now in your future, right? And that's the role of the equity counselors. Thank you so much, Ms. Anthony, and all of our team. This young man, Jeremiah, was going to be here. He was sick, and so he wasn't able to make it. But he's an excellent young man, went on our HBCU tour this past spring break. And so we're hoping that he gets well. Wrapping this up, almost done here. And so our next priority is African-American family engagement. And one of the benefits of my job is I get to work with probably one of the most fun people in the district, in San Bernardino City Unified. And that's Mr. Lawrence Hardy. He's our program specialist for African-American student and family engagement. Just a very creative young man who is always hyper-focused on unifying folks and bringing folks together. And we have to thank our 9 DAC parent leaders, Miss Devonna Robertson, who has been supporting this district, a true champion for a decade plus. Miss Mia Cooper as well, who's been a champion for so long. Miss Asha Compton, who Asha is at everything. She at all the events, tireless, kids in tow. I know the kids don't want to see any more ETSA events, but Miss Compton, just the way that she continues to push and show up, you are phenomenal, Miss Compton. Miss Wonder Pointer, Mr. Devin Hurd and Gary Hurd, 2 of our dads, the Kings on campus who are with Lawrence, Kanisha Richardson, Lola Cromwell, and Mickey Alexander. We're very grateful for them. And we currently have 24 schools with active APACs. I just wanted to share an important note here. SBCUSD remains committed to engaging the families of all students. And so again, under Dr. Rodriguez's leadership and Dr. Beatriz Gonzalez's leadership with the Family Engagement Department, I think we do an excellent job as a district of supporting families and engaging families. But I also think equity compels us to make additional efforts to reach the families of students who have historically been underserved. And so to do so, we help facilitate regular DAC, District African American Advisory Council meetings, APAC, the African American Parent Advisory Council, and community meetings. And I want to point out too, I want to give us, some props here, because SBCUSD has sponsored DAC and APAC since 2008. And I don't know this for a fact. I don't have a text or a historical document to back this up. So I'm just going to say we were one of the first districts in Southern California, and especially here in the Inland Empire, to do so. But I really think we were the first to have DAC and APAC, because I don't recall any other districts doing that before we started doing it, right? Almost 20 years ago now. So I think we ought to be commended for that. And so one of the things that we started doing this year that I think is really cool, and again, this is a testament to Mr. Hardy and to his creativity, as well as to our admin office team, because Alin and Monica do so much to just sort of bring it together and to make sure that all the details are taken care of, as well as Fran, Mrs. Blacksher, and our family engagement department. This year, for DAC, we got with Inland Career Education Center and their barber program, and we had barbers come down, and now they're giving kids haircuts during the DAC meetings. And the first time we did that was in September. We did it again in the October meeting, and we also had line dancing and all kind of stuff out there. I think Ms. Applegate was boogieing. I think Mr. Ariano might have, somebody, some other folks, was it Dr. Wyatt? Was he cutting the rug too? I believe so. So I don't think we had a video of that just in time, because we sure would have showed it. But we do have September. So Mr. Chavez, if you can play that one from September, sir. I just think that's so cool. You know, a haircut costs $40 to $50 now. And I believe we cut about close to or maybe a little over 30 students that night who were able to come and get a free haircut from our adult ed program. So again, just many kudos to our district and all the things that we do and that we provide. And so I just want to briefly share here in terms of African American family engagement. You know, I was talking today about we had an after action review for our October meeting, and we had in the October meeting probably somewhere we kind of agreed, no, we didn't have an exact number, but it was probably somewhere between 70 to 80, maybe 90 people at that meeting. And we were talking about how, goodness, man, I remember coming to DAC meetings and it would be like 5 people and 4 of them work for the school district, right? And now we have meetings where literally you got 80 people in the building at the new Paxum Center. And so when we talk about African American family engagement, you know, getting families to the table has been a challenge for a while, but I think we've kind of figured some things out. And I would say if there were 2 keys that I would identify and share with folks, one, it would be centering students. And so really making sure that the meeting itself is student centered. And so, you know, we could do that by providing, giving awards, celebrations, having students do presentations. And then I think another piece is authentic engagement. And again, what Fran and Lawrence and family engagement did at this last meeting in October, they did line dancing and the theme was health. And so there was a mental health and a physical health component that they talked about, but then they got folks up to dance, to do line dancing. And I don't do that much dancing myself, but I certainly appreciated and was grateful for the joy that was on parents and kids' faces who were there in that space. And so to see that kind of authentic engagement, I thought was amazing. And so now we're going to bring up Miss Devonna Robertson, who has been the DAC president, the DAC parent leader. Thank you, Miss Robertson.
How long do I have? 2 or 3 minutes. All right.
You're going to take however long.
I know.
Anyway, so.
But thank you, Dr. Greer and the ESSA department for allowing me a few minutes to share some of the space as you guys present to the board. I wanted to start with a Tanzanian proverb. It says, 2 ants will never fail to pull the grasshopper. 2 ants will never fail to pull the grasshopper. So when you consider the size of an ant in comparison to a grasshopper, it could be a tall feat, right? But you put 2 of them suckers together and they gonna pull the grasshopper. I would even believe that they could pull the elephant and anything else that they set their mind to, because they set out to work in collaboration and in partnership. And so I like to think of DAC and the ESSA department as the 2 ants. We don't have this all figured out. And I would even argue a little bit with Dr. Greer when he says, I think we've gotten the thing. We've done enough to increase, but we don't quite yet have the thing, because DAC and ETSA, we operate from here. Not until we are in the community, in the apartment complexes, on the corners, in the neighborhoods, at the liquor stores, meeting with parents with no expectation that they will ever come to a district building, then will we have the answer. But nonetheless, we are 2 busy ants pulling the grasshopper. Before I left the office, I was on my way home and I got a call from one of our parents in the district who is due to have a baby in December, and I'm her doula. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a proud birth worker, a lactation consultant, and a doula. And she said, Devonna, they're keeping me in the hospital. This is a mother who is expecting a baby in December. She has 2 children at home that are students in our district. And she was afraid. I said, okay, I'm gonna go home and freshen up, put my clothes on. I'm gonna go to Green Shack and get you a sandwich, because I know she likes Green Shack. So I picked me up one too. I'm gonna eat it on the way home. And I went and I sat with her before coming to the meeting. And we talked and I provided comfort and I listened. The doctor came in, her husband is at work, and I listened as the doctor gave her updates with paperwork in her hand for a major surgery. Mind you, She's not due to have this baby until the middle of December. And as I rolled over here after I left her with her belly full, she was worried, but I wanted to be here. And her husband will be with her shortly. But I thought about, what is it like when people have to face challenges alone? What would it have been like for that mom to not be able to call somebody and say, hey, this is what's going on, can you come? And could you bring me a sandwich from Green Shack, right? But these are our family situations every day in this city. You take that incident and you can apply any situation to it. And we have to consider, are our families doing these things alone? And so again, I think what has been good about San Bernardino School District, amongst many other good things, is that we were courageous enough to establish something that didn't have to be established many, many years ago, and we still have it. And again, we haven't gotten it, we haven't gotten it mastered, and I hope we never think we have it mastered. I hope we're always working towards making sure that every family in our city, whether you are affluent or you are in a shelter with your children, that you feel valuable as a member of this community. And I'll close by saying what I thought I was going to say, but now I can't remember because I was talking about the Green Shack sandwich. Dang. It was important though. Give me a second. Give me it wasn't about the 2 ants. I think I'll relay that message. A wise man once told me that what we have in San Bernardino School District was not because only community was concerned, or not only because the board was concerned, or not only because the superintendent was concerned and teachers were concerned. We have today in San Bernardino School District, not perfect, not mastered, but we have what we have because it was a collective understanding that we want things to be better. And this wise man has said, it took board members, it took a superintendent, it took concerned teachers, it took concerned staff, parents, and community to have what we have here. And so together we have worked as 2 ants pulling a grasshopper. This is a major feat we have before us, especially in this climate. But I just pray that we'll continue to be the ants doing the work that is most important for the families in this city and be a model to others. Not perfect, but working at it. And so I thank you for giving me a few minutes. Thank you, Dr. Greer. I behaved. I said earlier I was going to come and I was going to behave and not embarrass Dr. Greer. But I appreciate you all. And I'm a proud former student of this district, a proud mother of students who have all graduated this district, either are college graduates or currently in college, and a proud auntie to nieces and nephews in this district still. And so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I think this is just about done here. Priority 6, District Professional Development. We offer 2 trainings. One is our Gap Closing Teaching PD. And since 21-22, over 700 SBCU SD staff members, including our cabinet, our superintendent, our assistant superintendents, many of our directors, have all completed the 4 days of Gap Closing Teaching PD. So this training is very important. And then last year in 2024-25, we started offering a half-day training on how to respond to racial slurs. And I will say, you know, I hate that we even have to do a racial slurs training. It's a reflection, sadly, of where we still are in 2025. And I think about Dr. King giving his I Have a Dream speech 62 years ago. And just last week, I got a call in my office about an African-American boy who was an elementary student who was called a racial slur. And I've gotten, you know, those calls, and especially in the last 2 to 3 years. I'm thankful, though, because of our leadership, Mrs. Applegate, and then the principal at this particular school, who had a very good relationship with the mom and really good communication. So we were able to work it out and protect that child and make sure that he ultimately was okay and that the student who harmed him received some discipline. But ultimately, we are pushing for a day where kids are not harmed in this way. And so we had to develop this training so that we could make sure that we provide some guidance to schools for how to respond, because this, unfortunately, is a phenomenon that's harming, a lot of our kids right now, and not just here in San Bernardino, but beyond. And lastly, I want to point out, or I want to lift up here our magnet program, Sankofa. And so this is our last priority, the last one that we'll talk about here tonight. Many, many thanks to our amazing Sankofa teachers, Ms. Clark, Ms. Dixon, Dr. Gadsden, Ms. Curtis, and Mr. Bell. We want to thank our classroom aides and our Hunt site principal, Ms. Teresa Hopkins. We want to give a lot of thanks to Mrs. Goodwin, as well as to David Chavez and Daniel Tisdale, and the SBCUSD Communications Department for creating our outstanding marketing materials. With their help, we've seen a significant increase in the number of enrolled students, and we have some excellent achievement data that we'll share with you guys in November about Sankofa. And most importantly, I want to thank Ms. Tamika Casey, sitting right here to my left, my co-manager, for her leadership of Sankofa. And since she rejoined ETSA in 2024, Sankofa has improved in many ways, and she's going to talk about that in a moment. And I just want to share that we have the magnet at one site, Hunt Elementary. We've added a grade every year since 21-22, so now we're up to fourth grade, K4, and then you can see the breakdown of how many kids we have in each class. And the last video that we'll play before Tamika comes up, and then we have a gift for you guys. We brought some goodies for you guys tonight as well that we're looking forward to passing out in a bit. But before we do that, we're going to play the commercial that Mr. Chavez and Mr. Tisdale made for us to help us market Sankofa.
Sankofa is a unique, culturally responsive magnet program that's designed to improve outcomes for African American students. However, it is open to all kids in our district. Sankofa is also an acronym. It stands for Students Accumulating New Knowledge, Optimizing Future Accomplishments. Students enrolled in the Sankofa Magnet program are taught the same California standards in math and English as all other standards. However, they get additional training and support in character, relationships, wellness, high expectations, and Black history.
Sankofa has been great for my child because it's provided a safe space for her. It's helped her grow academically, emotionally. It's also helped her grow closer to a lot of people. Before, she didn't really trust a lot of people like that. And so she used to kind of stay to herself, but it's kind of broken her out of her shell. Every year, I just see her grow and grow. I would recommend the Sankofa program because it's a great place for your child to learn, for your child to flourish, for your child to most importantly be themselves without judgment. It's like one of those things where you say it takes a village to raise a child. That's exactly what Sankofa is. It's a one big village where we just all come together to help raise our kids, help them flourish, let them know, hey, you're not alone. If you need help, we're here for you no matter what it is.
Students in the Sankofa program attend classes together at Jefferson Hunt Elementary. Busing is available to all eligible students. We're enrolling new students, kinder through fourth grade. So if a high-achieving, culturally responsive program is what you're looking for, that's tailored to your student success, visit our website at sbcusd.com/Sankofa.
And we're going to have a word here from Miss Casey, who is our ETSA principal on assignment.
Well, good evening. I'm going to keep it very brief. I just want to first say thank you to Ms. Caballos, our president of the board members, and to Mr. Ariano, our superintendent and cabinet, and just for this continued support of this Sankofa Magnet program. I've had a lot of opportunity to speak with folks and answer questions about this, and I'm just really excited that our scholars are able to thrive because of our partnership and because of your support. And with that, I just want to really say thank you. Since stepping back into the ETSA department and assuming the role as principal on assignment, all of the things that we've done for Sankofa, I would like to encapsulate into 3 areas: our academic acceleration, equitable access, and then a strong structure and cultural pride for our scholars. And you can see that on those faces. When we talk about academic acceleration, Dr. Greer already spoke about, we will come back in November to share some of the preliminary SBAC data as it relates to our first year of testing. And we're super excited to be able to report that our scholars were able to meet their goals for ELA and very close to the cusp of meeting goals in math. And that's a lot largely due to small group instruction, progress monitoring, culturally responsive practices in our instruction for our scholars daily. And every one of our teachers have completed the gap closing teacher training, and all but one are GATE certified. So our scholars are receiving the most quality education possible. Thank you. Then equitable access. We've hired 5 instructional aides. So those classes all have aides that are helping with intervention and small group and on-time, in-time support alongside the classroom teachers. We have, in partnership, Dr. Greer mentioned already, with our communications department, our transportation department, enrollment department, able to successfully increase our enrollment with all of the efforts of us partnering together. And so district-wide interests have been garnered through all of our efforts together. Our kinder class tripled because of those efforts. And all of the other classes are just about at a regular class size. And we were struggling with enrollment. And so with our partnerships, it has increased drastically. And so we're super excited about that. Our cohort is growing. We're adding every year. We're looking forward to enrolling out our 5th grade and expanding next year. And we're also looking even further out into the future about where will our scholars go for middle school and high school. And so look out for that. We're in the works working towards what that will look like for our Sankofa scholars. And finally, the strong cultural pride that our scholars are getting as a part of this magnet program. We were able to secure our Sankofa t-shirts starting out that first year when I came back to the department. And we have been able to, with that, show uniformity and pride. We are asked to go out and speak in different places and to perform, and now we can come correct. We can look uniform and represent our district, represent our school, and let everyone know that yes, this is an institution that is serious about teaching and learning. And yes, our scholars will be successful. Additionally, with that strong pride, we were able to launch our commercial, which you saw, and increase our social media presence. So I really want to give a special shout out to David Chavez and the communications department for that. It has strengthened our community engagement and our visibility. And so with that, our scholars are learning well. Enrollment is increasing, and we have a strong identity. And our approach is working across our academic access and academic success and their cultural development. Our scholars are proud to be who they are. And next steps, what we are looking to is to, again, sustain our aid positions, continue providing transportation for our scholars, continue with communication and partnership with our recruitment, with our communications department and all those departments that have helped us get this far, supporting our 5th grade Sankofa expansion. And my wish and hope is that we can continue to provide that professional development for our Sankofa teachers. It has been a game changer to expand their cultural knowledge so that they can pour into our scholars. So again, I want to say thank you for believing in Sankofa. Thank you for believing in our scholars. And we are proud as a department of our students, our parents, and the staff in Sankofa. And with that, I just want to continue to do the work. It is hard, it is challenging, but it's worth it. And I just want to say thank you for your support and your consideration.
And so now our ask of you is to help us market the program. So we got you something that we are going to ask you all to wear, if not today, then another day. But we're going to ask that you please help us market the program with your Sankofa polo. And on that note, we just want to say thank you to the board, to Superintendent Ariano, and to our extremely supportive boss, Mrs. Anna Applegate. Thank you so much, Anna. You are the bomb. And to our entire SBCUSD family. Y'all can clap for Ms. Applegate.
Yes.
You know how she hooks us up. And it is an honor to do this work for these kids and for this community. So we thank you.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Alexander?
I'd like to say congratulations. What a great presentation. Great job. Great job to your staff. I remember 2.5 years ago, your staff was probably half of what I see today. So excellent work. Just cannot wait to just hear the data that you're going to present in November. But I also have to honor and recognize the richness of the crowd that you have out here. So I want to say hi to Mr. Hardy Brown, former school board member back there. I know we have Dr. Sharina Betters, current sitting board member for the county, for a community college district, former city council member, Kimberly Calvin. And if I missed anybody, please forgive me, but I see all the richness out there. I see community college district out there, but just thank you for just having a community out here. It says a lot. And just the progress that's been made and what you're doing is excellent. I'm proud, so thank you. And I want to just clarify, I wasn't giving you an assignment. I know Tamika immediately went into like action mode, like, oh, we're going to get back to her. No, I was just making sure that if our scholars have a plan, that we're making sure that they're part of our Link Learning program, because it's excellent. They get a lot of richness from that in terms of just career readiness. So that's all I was inspiring. I wasn't trying to give you another action.
We were on it though.
I could see Mauricio from like my peripheral vision. So
We were on it though.
So thank you.
Mrs. Rosales Medina?
Oh, this is definitely a great presentation. The amount of work that has come, and I do want to also acknowledge Mr. Tillman, because he was one of those first that brought this forward and saw a need, and so I do want to say thank you for bringing this forward. And just the words from those that came to speak, as well as Dr. Greer, amazing. I'm so glad that we brought you on board, Tamika, on regards everything that you're all doing, Dr. Tamika, Casey. And I do want to acknowledge the fact that there was a comment that Devona made, and it was facing challenges alone. And as a parent, I remember, I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but as a parent, I had Dr. Collins in elementary school. So it does make a huge difference. So I'm just really glad that we're moving forward. These are great programs, and we're not there yet, but we're at least moving the direction. And I'm really proud to be part of the board that is helping, getting those achievements done. So thank you so much.
Mr. Tillman?
Thank you very much, Ms. Medina. Thank you, Dr. Greer, and to everyone who was involved in the presentation. Great work. It means a lot that we make sure we do everything we can to allow our students to reach their greatest potential. And you guys are enabling that. You know, when I asked the young person the question, the young man the question, what made the biggest difference? And he pointed to that teacher.
Yes.
That's what makes the difference. And he spoke from his heart. It wasn't something I had told I was going to ask beforehand. And so that makes it real. But I do want to set the record straight just historically, because a lot of times people don't understand how things actually take place. You know, I was talking to our student board members earlier and emphasizing them the role of being a board member and being in this seat and having the power and the responsibility of doing the right thing. The policy came about before there was a name of the policy. And the policy came about from the West Side Action Group. And the West Side Action Group had an educational committee. And those committee members at the time that I remember were Walter Hawkins and Ratibu Jacobs.
Yep.
And yeah, you can clap for them. The late Ratibu Jacobs and Walter Hawkins. And they had a committee, and they would come to the meetings on a regular basis, and they had a long list of things that they wanted enacted. You got to remember, this was happening at the same time as No Child Left Behind with George Bush. And so there was a lot of discussion. The numbers for African Americans historically have always been lower than other students. So they were having these meetings. But when they gave me a list of like 20-something things that they wanted done, and I looked at the list, but the one thing that stuck out was a policy. And they said, we need a policy because we're doing good work now, but we got to make sure that it will always be done. And the way to ensure that is to create a policy, so regardless of who was on the board, our community can hold the district responsible. And that's how this policy came to fruition. So I think it's important that you know that, because you're right, it wasn't one person, it was the entire community that was involved in creating this. Now, I know Mr. Cooper, who was one of the, who had Dr. Greer's job before him. I know he's thinking, I wish I had this many resources when I was here. Because he struggled, because in order to, you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Go.
You can have a policy, but if you got one person doing the work, you're gonna get one person worth of action and productivity. So if you're really going to ensure that this policy means something, you have to invest the money for our students, and that's what the board is doing year by year. And at this point, we have a great superintendent, Mr. Ariano. He's from San Bernardino. He's from the neighborhood. He worked at Groupon. So he loves our community and he loves all of our students. And that makes a huge difference. So I just want to encourage you all to keep doing the work that you're doing. I appreciate you all. The community appreciates you all. But don't never lose sight of the fact that you all are saving lives. You guys are giving opportunity to students that would not have it if it not for the work that you all do day in and day out. And for that, I say thank you.
Mr. Santos?
Thank you, Mr. Tillman.
Thank you very much for your presentation today. I think it was wonderful. The comment that was made, I love a counselor, a teacher who tells the students, you cannot drop this class. Because they can't see what they can't see and they don't know what they don't know. And I had the opportunity to go to the HBCU College Fair, which I thought was awesome. You know, when I walked away from you, I was going to all the all of the booths, which I thought is a wonderful program for our students. That's a family night. I went out to that too. Me and my two left feet. Hopefully no one has video.
Well, they have video.
Yeah, that's all right. It happens. And again, just continue doing the great work that you do. Thank you.
Dr. Wyatt.
Thank you, Madam President, and Dr. Greer and team. Well done. Great presentation and amazing work, life-changing work, as I would say, life-saving work. I heard Ms. Kay say hard work, and my colleague out there, Dr. Sharina Betters, get emotional when I think about it, and what she says is this hard work is heart work, as we all know, right? Got to have love for what we do, and I see a tremendous amount of love in this group right here in front of me and on this board, and that's what it's going to take is our hearts, everything we got. And I look back and I see that crowd, some champions of this community. Both the Browns are there. I see them, and Dr. Lori Collins, to this battle. Yep, they've been fighting fights for decades in this city, for decades, and I have a lot of respect for them and the hardships that they've had to go through and to put themselves in harm's way. Because you can get me emotional. Don't do that to me now. Don't do that. But you have to have courage. You really have to have courage if you want to make change happen in your community and take on what needs to be taken on. And Dr. Lori Collins, I see back there, and Abigail was getting all teary-eyed, but this goes back many, many years for us, back to when our kids were in middle school, and we were fighting this good fight before we even had an idea of being up here. And it's folks like every person out there. It doesn't mean that you're up here to make this work happen. It takes all of us to make this work. And Dr. Ayana, I see you too. Don't think I'm not going to give you a shout out either, okay? Because she's another champion of kids in our community, and she's right here supporting us. And I see you too, Councilwoman. Don't worry, I do see you and the work that you do. And just throughout this crowd, now I got to give a shout out to one of my teachers who's here, Mr. Gibbs.
Mr. Gibbs.
Jared Gibbs back there. He's laying low. But that's one of our county teachers that I have the pleasure and the opportunity to work with, who does an amazing job with our youth. And when it doesn't work out maybe in certain districts, they come to us in county, and he makes sure they graduate. He's our 12th grade teacher, and he's a huge part of why many kids graduate from our county operations program. So, Mr. Gibbs, thank you for being here tonight, supporting us in San Diego City. So, but I'm gonna get to the data here because I like numbers. I'm all about numbers. We got to do that sometimes. And my colleague's not here tonight, but I'm gonna give her a shout out, Dr. Gwen Dowdy Rogers, because the DNF rates was one of her things that she championed. And I got to say it. This goes back 6 years, looking at the data, and tremendous gain. I know we're not happy yet, but we are definitely making some huge strides. Big shout out to Pacific, San Mateo High School, San G High School, 37%, 29%, 22% decrease in 6 years. That is amazing. So whoever's doing that work out there, great job to our folks. Not saying other schools, but those 3 high schools are crushing it. So we got to look and say, what are they doing, right? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. And then some of our other numbers out there that I was looking at, just always want to keep my finger on the pulse that we're moving in the right direction. And FAFSA apps, 15% of our students were able to get done, 85% need help. And I know you said we got some more data coming out, and I want to see that because 100% of our kids need to be able to fill that out, right? 100%. So we got a little bit of work to do there. I know we're focused on it, laser focused, but some incredible work doing here. And I just want to say, I'll do my board comments kind of now, but at the DAC meeting at the Pockham, I got there late because I did have another meeting to go to. It was still going on though when I got there late, and I'll tell you the energy there, the love that I felt, and that community welcoming center. I mean, if you haven't been there, you got to go, because I know that was a vision and a dream for many folks in this crowd and this board, to where our community could go and feel the love and feel welcomed. And it is an amazing facility. And Dr. Greer, you and your team, you started it off. You kicked it off with that event, and I'll tell you what, it's only going to get better from there. And so great job to you and your team. I felt the love, I felt the energy. Everybody that's back there right now, I know a lot of folks in this room, they're all dancing out the line dance. I'll tell you now, I got torn meniscus. I just found out the night before. And they made me go out there anyway. And I know I'm going to get an embarrassing video here soon, but just the love that was in that room and in this room, that's all we need. Because I know we got the brain power, we got the willpower, we got the hard workers here. It's going to happen, this city. It's going to happen. Like I said, we got the superintendent. to lead us and this board and incredible executive cabinet. And we are coherent together. We are one. And that's one thing I love about San Bernardino. And we are real in this city. And I hope we just keep focused on our kids and our community, because there's a lot of great work happening right here in San Bernardino City. So thank you.
Ms. Grande?
Well, I have to tell you, my heart is so full. I want to tell you thank you on behalf of all the teachers that you have allowed to be themselves, to be their very best selves. You give them carte blanche. Only the single most important thing they have to do is love what they're doing. And
Right.
I can feel it. it's palatable. You can feel the spirit. It's so moving. And when I first became a teacher 25 years ago, my first gig was at Martin Luther King. My first day was September 11th. And the days after that, I did my best. I was a sub for us at first, and I had an 8th grade beautiful African American girl give me a really hard time. And I thought, love conquers all. And so I would engage her, and she didn't understand why I was spending so much time with her. It's because she was the angriest one in the whole room. And my daughter had told me, Mom, I know you're going to try to fix everybody who's not happy, because that's how I roll. I go, well, she's obviously upset about something. I just wasn't sure what it was. But she kept getting into trouble. And I really thought of her today. I hope she turned out fine, because the teacher next door told me, well, if you have any trouble, just send him to my class. And so I sent her there like 3 times. Finally, he said, you're going to have to deal with it, Miss Ablis. So I said, all right. So I said, look, you go sit outside and you write this story, write me a letter about what you're going to be when you grow up. And she said, do I have to? It's either that or a call home. I go, all right. So she was out there. She wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. I go, all right, I did something right. I gave her something she was interested in. And as she left, I said, thank you. And she just said, oh, you're going to be sorry. And I read it. And it's this like 5-page letter about how I was never going to be a teacher. I was never going to make it because I didn't know how to talk to kids. that her kind of kids needed to be yelled at and scolded and told that they were a piece of whatever, and that she couldn't see me saying those things, right? And I saved that letter for the longest time. And I actually finally, I don't know what happened to it, but my heart always hurt. And then so I went into a specialty of teaching called moderate to severe and autistic, and I was brave. Maybe what I made up, I didn't know I made up in bravery. So I've often thought of that child, and I thought, what could I have said? Because it was what I didn't know, right? And tonight, I feel like I just know everything. For just a minute, it feels really good. I feel like I have answers. So thank you. I honor you, each and every one of you, and your inspiration and your love and your soul and your spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I also just want to say thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. And although I wasn't on the board when all of this started many years ago, I am definitely proud to be part, as Ms. Abigail has mentioned, of this board, at this time. And I appreciate the comments about, it being a collaborative effort. I think that we all do understand the importance of the work that you all do. And we want to continue to support it in whichever way we can. I did have a couple of questions throughout the presentation. I was hoping for a pause somewhere to ask questions, but it's okay. I will only ask one of the questions that I had written down really quickly, and it kind of now feels a little out of context or out of order, but I still do want to ask it. As you were going through your presentation, and you were presenting on the elementary students and how the services and things like that were being provided, I was thinking, a thought was coming through my mind in regards to to how does that fit? And then later you went on to share about middle school and high school students and so forth. But for the elementary students, because I guess I know a little bit more, I work in elementary. So in the context of schools and their MTSS process, how does the program, the services that ESSA delivers, how does it sit, or how does it, how is it embedded in that greater scheme of things at this different school sites?
Thank you for the question. It sits right within the larger process that our district operates, that Mrs. Applegate, Dr. Coker, elementary instruction that they created for our district. So just about all of our elementary schools now have a reading intervention program. And so the support that we're providing sits within, or is a part of, is connected to that reading intervention program. We're just making sure that our African-American students, along with other students, and again, all students who are struggling would get some support. But our EGTs, what makes it a little unique, our equity guest teachers, is that they get training from these wonderful ladies over here twice a month. And so they train them specifically around supporting students, but really also sort of supporting the kids who are showing up before them. And so part of that is culture, part of that is relationships, part of that is high expectations, part of that is curriculum, right? And just sort of really having a clear sense of what kids need. But our EGTs get trained twice a month, specifically around helping to meet the reading needs, the literacy needs of African-American students. But to answer your question, it sits right within a structure that has already been provided, because when we came back from COVID, Mrs. Applegate and Dr. Coker, and I don't necessarily want to speak for them, but I think we had such a need around literacy and math, and that was true not just in our district, but across the state and country. So I think one of the really wise things that they did was to create an overarching reading intervention program for elementary kids so that we could try to catch them up before they left elementary. And so I want to say all of our elementaries now have a model of that program, and our program sits within that program. So it's like a program within a program.
And thank you for that. And I want to make sure that we highlight and emphasize that, because when I ran, 6-7 years ago now, one of my big platforms was the MTSS framework, right? And I know that when I came on board, we were doing a lot of, the LCAP and things like that. And a lot of our elementary schools have since then gained like a MTSS coordinator, right? That is supposed to really focus on specifically that, like the tier 2 intervention and things like that. So I just want to say the work is really aligned, right? And it benefits all students. So again, however we can, I would love for the work that you do to be expanded, right? And for the professional training that you provide teachers on cultural relevance, it applies to all students. I'm Hispanic, I'm Latina, I'm Mexicana, right? I have a boy. And he would have completely benefited from cultural training from his teachers, having that cultural training. So what I'm trying to say is the work that you do doesn't just matter for our African American students. I would like for us to expand that work across our different school sites and really benefit all students. When my son was young, and he was having so many issues, he ended up having an IEP and so forth. One of the things that I ended up doing in my pursuit of trying to help him was, how can I learn strategies that work for children, with the most severe needs, right? Autism, for example, specific strategies, behavioral support, things like that. So I went and I got a job to learn those strategies, even though my son was not autistic. And the reason for it is because I thought, if I can learn how to support in this fashion students that have the highest needs, it is not going to hurt my student. And it definitely did not hurt my student, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if we can take what you guys have and how can we support to expand that, because it is going to benefit all our students, is what I want for us to be able to do. And so again, once again, I really appreciate the work that you're doing, and you know, thank you for coming out and sharing with us.
Thank you.
I just want to start off by just saying how proud I am to work with a Board of Education that truly values diversity, equity, and inclusion. These are words that we are not afraid to align ourselves with, and we're not afraid for our actions to show that. I know one of the questions that Dr. Greer asked me back around election time is, what's going to happen? Are we going to continue with our work? And I said, you're darn right, because equity is just giving kids what they need when they need it in the moment. Diversity is just an opportunity to celebrate and love each other. And inclusive excellence is making sure that everybody has a sense of belonging. And there's nothing wrong with those three words. So we're going to continue down that path. I also want to say that, and I say this often, love is the most important ingredient a successful community can have. And so to Mr. Ceballos' point, we need to continue to see the best in each other. We need to continue to love each other. We need to continue to lift each other up. We need to be those two ants. You know I'm going to start using that, right, Devonna? You know that. I appreciate that. And so you have our commitment that we are going to continue to be those two ants, and we're going to be pulling that grasshopper or that elephant as far as we need to do what's best for our kids. Mr. Tillman talked about Groove Time Records, and you know, I know many times we laugh when people hear, oh, you know, Marisa used to work at Groove Time Records, but I'm going to give you a serious comment about that. I earned the greatest master's degree I could have ever learned was working at Groove Time Records. It was the one place where people of all different kinds, all different likes, all different colors of skin, all different, would walk in that store and everything would disappear that was hatred. It was all about love. And so I do value Groove Time Records because it gave me the master's degree I needed to serve in a leadership role in a community school like we have here. So I appreciate my time at Groove Time Records because it's made me who I am today. And then I want to just a few shout outs. I think it's important. It's, you know, seeing Hardy Brown Sr. here, former Assemblywoman Cheryl Brown. Thank you for your leadership. Appreciate you being here. I do want to echo the comment that was made. You know, it took courage when Board Member Hardy was here, Mr. Tillman when he was a young man, to really step up and show that courage and put this down in policy so that every generation would be guaranteed a focus, a budget, and continued work. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Cooper. I had the honor of working with Mr. Cooper when I was the principal at Thompson. He was a great teacher. I still remember the wind tunnel, man. You remember the reading wind tunnel? I love that, man. I never forgotten that. But Mr. Cooper, thank you for creating that first step at the ETSA program. You see what your work has done, your passion, it's grown. So thank you. You know, I want to thank people like Devonna, you know, Mia Cooper, for just, you know, Kimberly Calvin, for always just picking up the phone, sharing concerns or questions or even kudos. I appreciate that. I appreciate the connection that we have so that we can continue to grow this this district of ours. I want to thank Dr. Betters, Elise. You know, in my previous district, when we were working down this DEI work, it was hard. And, you know, when I was receiving death threats and violent threats, you know, you two were there to hold me up at tough times. I appreciate you and I love you and thank you for being there for me. And so I'm going to end that I'm very proud to announce that, you know, our student achievement is going up for our African American students. It's not where we want it to be. I know I've met with Ms. Applegate and Dr. Greer this past week, and we decided that we want to yeah, he's got a little music going for me, all right? We need to continue to close that gap at a faster rate. Even though I'm so darn proud of all the work that our staff is doing, we can't continue just to meet the state and county average. We need to start tripling that and quadrupling that. So Dr. Greer, I thank you for meeting with me last week and setting some pretty lofty goals for this coming year of really closing that gap at a lot faster pace than just meeting the state and county average, and I think we're going to do it. And the last thing I just also want to say is thank you to our scholars and our parents. You know, amazing kids, amazing parents is just a recipe for success. And so I appreciate you all being here tonight. I appreciate you going along this journey with us, supporting us, helping us where we need help. And then I also want to end by, you know that parent, you love all your kids, but there's always that one kid you love the most. So I love everybody in my district, but Lawrence Hardy, like Lawrence Hardy's my guy, man. Like, when I see somebody making the effort to bring our community together, I appreciate what Lawrence says. So Lawrence, thank you. I appreciate you, brother. I love you for that. Will, Dr. Greer, Tamika, ETSA department, great job, great presentation. Honored to work alongside of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay, give yourselves another round of applause. We're going to go ahead and move on our agenda here tonight. And up next, we have We have 8.0 board discussion. We have 8.1 City of San Bernardino State of the City event up. Karen, did we have the attachment sent and received? Or Google Doc, did we send that out? Is it attached? Okay, good. It was, yeah, I believe they're asking for sponsorship. I treated the sponsorship the same. I treated the request as any other request, and left it open for the board to discuss, ask questions, see if it's relevant. So I will go ahead and open that discussion now. Mrs. Alexander.
I was just trying to understand, was there an ask other than, a monetary request?
I believe it was a general just ask for sponsorship. I'm sure that they would appreciate, monetary sponsorship if that's something that the board wants to do and if it aligns with our policy.
Be clear, what we received, it didn't define any type of prospectus. It was just sponsorship and then information related to the actual state of the city. It had logos. So I would think if something says sponsorship, then we would have guidance as to what that means, or we can make a decision of what we would like to do. But sticking with the guidelines of the sponsorship committee, I'm thinking you need a little bit more guidance.
Yeah, so like I said, it was a general request that came, and I was asked, so I took it the same process that I would with any other request. So I said, send them our Google Doc form, have them, fill it out, and let the board kind of just discuss it. So it wasn't a specific ask. It was more of a general, hey, we're having this event. It was kind of like informal as well. But again, if it gets to me, then I push it forward.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Ms. Medina?
Yes, first of all, I do appreciate the fact that they did fill out the request for sponsorship form, which gives me an idea. But it is something that I didn't expect, only because it is an event that is done by the city and the state of the city. So I really don't know who, maybe the person that brought it forward, maybe they have a reason why this was also brought forward or why they requested this to move forward. But I don't see, they already have their sponsorships, they already have their logos there. I don't even see an amount that they're requesting. And typically, state of the city, I don't see a purpose why the district would support and providing funding, because it's more where they're going to do like a public speech on what they envision for the city in the future. So, but I definitely would like to hear from those that did request that this be on the agenda.
Like I said, it wasn't a particular request on any one person. It was just something that came from me and it was asked. So instead of me deciding whether to or not, I took it upon to just bring it before the board in the same format that we have any other, and let the board decide if this is something that aligns with our policy and so forth. Mr. Tillman?
I wouldn't recommend giving a monetary sponsorship to the city. I mean, if the city's doing the event, then they have these private businesses that are giving them sponsorships. But I don't think it's appropriate that the school district give district money to the city for a sponsorship.
Dr. Wyatt?
Well, I'm in agreement with my colleagues, but the one thing I do see, it looks like, is we have 30 or 40 volunteers from our district participating in the event, and then are we having any high school students participate in the event? It looks like the mayor's office is requesting it. Now that part, I know I've seen our kids support the State of the City event doing that, which I think has been fantastic, highlighting some of our music programs, whatever they may be. I would expect us to support them that way. I don't know if that's part of what they're asking for, and if it is, I would agree with that.
Thank you. Okay, so at this time, I would say I would agree as well. Maybe we can reach out to the city and let them know if they would like for us to support them in providing. Dr. Wyatt, you said possibly student volunteers for the event.
Student entertainment, highlighting some of our musical programs that we have that I think we already know are pretty amazing. I've seen them perform at the State of the City before, and I think that's a reasonable request. Or maybe student ambassadors welcoming people. We do that at our events as well. Mr. and Mrs. Cardinal are often at these events. So if we're doing the State of the City and highlighting it, I know one of our goals of this board is to work collaboratively together with our city council and government to help move the city in the right direction. So what better way than to highlight our youth?
So that's what I would support as well. I would be in agreement with my colleagues in regards to I would probably not support any financial type of sponsorships as well. So with that being said, Karen, then I don't think this is an item to be voted on, correct? It's just discussion. Okay, so if we're okay with that and there's no further comments, we can go ahead and move on to the next item then. All right. So next item is 8.2, Making Hope Happen Foundation second annual scholarship breakfast. And I will go ahead and Mrs. Alexander.
So for Making Hope Happen Foundation Scholarship Breakfast, the last breakfast, I know for a fact the students were in our district that received scholarships, and I believe they were all from San Andreas. So I would like, for me, I feel we should support it. I know it's discussion point at this time, but I would like to propose that we sponsor them at the $5,000 sponsorship level, where we would receive 20 tickets, so that's 2 tables, and a full page ad, the recognition, but most importantly, is the money that's going back to our district and to our students.
Was that all? Thank you. Mr. Tillman?
So I'm assuming this is different than their annual gala? And have we sponsored this particular event in the past?
I believe so.
And how much?
Not this particular event. Oh, not this one.
This is a new one, right? So how much did we give? When was the last event that they had that we sponsored? When was it? And when was that? And how much did we sponsor? How much did we sponsor? 5,000? It was pretty substantial, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I look at them as an organization. So, I don't know. To me, the $5,000 a year is substantial, and I wouldn't consider giving, more money, because now you're talking about what? You're going to start giving $7,500, $10,000 a year? I think that's too much.
Okay, Mrs. Alexandra, I'll come back to you now. You can go ahead, and then I'll.
So the breakfast that took place 2 years ago, we were a sponsor. How much? I don't. Oh no, we didn't sponsor the last breakfast. So I'm not sure how much we sponsored their May gala, but you can verify that, Karen. But I think it's important to note that they are pretty generous to our district over the last years. It's been $3.6 million since 2017. So, I mean, we have given, I know, other organizations money twice in 1 year, and we weren't seeing the same benefits come back to our school district. So I'm still going to stick with the 5,000.
Okay, was that all your comments? Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President, and I'm in absolute agreement with Board Member Alexander. First of all, the Making Hope Happen Foundation, and the whole intent of it is to send as many kids from our district to college. And I know, it's a lofty goal, and I remember when Dr. Del Marzan was talking about this being a $1 billion foundation. And my understanding is we're actually in the millions and millions of dollars now, which is absolutely amazing that we are sending kids from this city that maybe wouldn't have been able to afford to go to college to be able to go to college. With that being said, it's also, I think, isn't the Al Carnegie program a part of this as well? The READ program, I apologize for not knowing the name of it. Kids program, which again, early intervention with our children, getting them to read early in life, it's critical to success for any student, let alone the students in this city. So I am in support of this. I will not be able to go to the breakfast. I already checked the calendar, unfortunately, but again, I think it's one of the organizations that directly impacts our kids and gives right back to them. So these are the type of programs I definitely think we should support. Thank you. And I would second the motion for 5,000.
Thank you, Dr. Wyatt. Mr. Tillman?
It's important to remember that the Making Hope Foundation was established on the basis of there are a lot of community partners and companies that benefit from the district, and the thought was you would ask them to donate to the district to benefit our students. So the whole goal was we were missing out on the opportunity to request donations to the Making Hope Foundation to benefit our kids. That's why it was built. And the thought was you would get millions and millions of dollars to maintain this foundation because they owed it to our students because of the benefits they get from the district. But it was never thought that the district was going to finance the Making Hope Foundation from their own proceeds to a large extent. The whole genesis of it was that you were going to have companies donate that benefit from the district. And if you look at the donors for Making Hope Foundation, you'll see that a lot of them are companies that have benefited from contracts with the school district. I just think it's a mistake if we, and maybe it's not a mistake, but I know we have hesitation about giving certain amounts to other groups. And I just can't see a lot of you saying, if these groups come back 2 and 3 times in the same year, we're going to keep giving sponsorships as they have different events. So I think it's a mistake because you're setting a precedent. You cannot justify giving this type of money to one organization and then don't give it to another. Because all of them will say, if you give me more, I will give your students more. But that's not what the Making Hope Foundation created for. It was created to get money from private industry to give back to the district.
Okay, any more discussion? And I believe, Ms. Medina?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with Mr. Tillman. But as I'm looking at the invitation list, and I'm trying to look at, and again, I appreciate the fact that we're passing out this questionnaire, because it helps us really look at what it's funding and how much it's funding, and will there be students attending? No, there won't be students, but there will be alumni. But when you look at their pamphlet or information of what's going to happen on that day, I see Dr. Daniel Walker's name in there. And so he's an inspirational speaker when it comes to history, when it comes to the need for, he's an inspirational speaker. So I definitely would support this event, because they have someone that understands and motivates maybe the community within that session. So I would definitely support it, but I do agree with Mr. Tillman. What the intention was for Making Hope happen was to bring out other sponsors, other businesses and partners.
Ms. Grande?
I do support the sponsorship in full for the 5,000. I do support the 2 tables that we would receive, and I would support filling those 2 tables with our student leaders, our school board members, and then some esteemed children or students that are doing particularly well at their high schools, and fill it up and start that kind of practice. And as a student leader at Cal State, I started that at our college up there, and it went over very well. We're a Hispanic serving institution. I said, well, let's show them. Let's show. So I like that, having cabinet members attend, not so much board members perhaps, but spread the wealth there. We had a lot of educators here that would love to take their children or their students and their scholars. So I do support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Medina?
Just maybe a request with regards to this sponsorship is to include students, because I know that their request form does not indicate students, it's alumni. But I mean, I think just the fact that Dr. Walker is going to be there, I think it would be great for students to hear the message. It's very powerful the way he speaks on, especially when it comes to history within our communities here. So I would suggest maybe adding students from our school district.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. And then just for my comments, Karen, were we able to confirm that we have a sponsored this event for this year for 5,000 already? Were you able to confirm that?
You're talking about the gala?
No, just the organization as a whole. Has the organization already received $5,000 in any other events for this year?
Not Making Hope happen.
Okay,
No.
not for this year yet.
No. Okay, I'm sorry, we're just clarifying. The last one we did was a Making Hope Happen Gala last year, and it was for 5,000.
Okay, so it was last year. So this would be a new one.
It was last school year.
Okay, perfect. So the reason why I asked that and I clarify that is because that was going to guide my vote here tonight, and it wouldn't matter if the majority of the board supports it, but I wanted to ask that and get that clarification, because I agree with Mr. Tillman in the sense that for me, I want to make sure that we are consistent. And if another organization comes, how can I say no to another organization when I'm doing, one for another? So for this event, I will be voting on it, and I will be voting yay. Probably for the May gala when it comes, it will be a nay for me. So I just kind of want to throw that out there now as well. But anyway, we have a motion and a second. Can we go ahead and vote? And I believe the motion was Mrs. Alexander and second was Dr. White. And then just vote, please.
And Madam President, I'll along the same lines, I'll vote nay on this one, but I will support the annual event that we do. So it's going to come back next spring, which would be this school year. I'll support that, but I just think I don't want to set the precedent for 2 events in a year.
Mr. Tillman and Ms. Abigail.
Motion carries. We will go ahead and move to 9.0 action items, 9.1 personnel report.
As presented.
Moved by Mr. Tillman, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote, please. Motion carries. 9.2 resolution declaring the zoning ordinances of the city of San Bernardino inapplicable to the district's public safety building project.
So moved.
Thank you. Moved by Mrs. Alexander, second by Dr. Wyatt. Vote, please. Motion carries. 10.0 consent items, 10.1 approval of consent list. Is there any to be pulled? Okay, can I get a motion?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Wyatt, second by Mrs. Alexander. Vote, please.
Ms. Alexander.
Motion carries. 11.0 reports and comments by union organizations. 11.1 San Bernardino Teachers Association.
No report.
11.2 California School Employees Association.
No report.
11.3 Communication Workers of America.
No report.
11.4 San Bernardino School Police Officers Association.
No report.
12.0 reports and comments. 12.1 board member comments. And I will go ahead and start to my right with Mr. Tillman. All right, moving on to Mrs. Rosales Medina.
Report.
Mrs. Alexander.
I just have one comment. I wanted to say congratulations or keep up the great work to Pacific High School's football team. They're undefeated. And so for them not to have a football team last year and they have one this year, awesome work. And just keep it up. That's it. And good luck to all the other teams too. I'm not like being partial. It's just I know they are undefeated.
Woohoo to them.
Wishing you all the best in your retirement. We're going to miss you. Thank you for all your good work.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Miss Mary Ellen Abeles Grande.
Yes, I just have a couple of things to say. I do want to say happy retirement, coming retirement to our Chief Paulino, and I'll serve on your campaign for election to mayor one day. And that's all. I just have been talking all night. I feel like that. So thank you anyway. Thank you, board members.
Thank you. Dr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Madam President. Try to be brief. Just really enjoyed our first PIA meeting of the year at Cajon High School, and just congrats to all the work they're doing again, Dr. Greer and Francine Blackshear and the rest, and Superintendent Ariano for making a guest appearance and enjoying some lumpia. He says he has a picture of me eating some. I'm almost afraid to see what that looks like. But again, just love seeing them at those meetings. Again, the DAC and PI meeting at the Pockham Welcome Center. And I said, I got there late, and I was told it was a packed house for those that were there earlier. And I can't imagine how crowded it was, because it was crowded when I got there. And it was still, as you said, the party was still going on. It was still going strong and live, and people having a great time. And just what an amazing facility. Mr. Santos shared a video with me. Probably should share it with others. Just somebody took a picture in the video with a drone coming down East Street in that facility. And when you see it, it's like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it looks like you're going down like Beverly Hills or something looking at this facility. That's how nice it is. And that's what I truly believe our kids in our community deserve. So, thank you to this whole board, the folks that have been around a long time, and the community for having that vision and making it happen a reality for our city, number one. And then this weekend, had a great time going to watch our hometown hero, JD5, Jaden Daniels. But I think Mr. Tillman was there. He didn't say that, but he had some darn good seats. I thought I had great seats. He had better seats. Let me just say that. So I'm going to go to his app next time and get them. But just watching that young man play with humility, I think just a true ambassador of our city and our area. And just, and I think Miss Alexander was there too. Sorry, Miss Alexander. So I think a lot of San Bernardino was there. But all I can say is that was awesome watching him play. And against a very tough team. Chargers are no joke. They were on fire. And they were taking it to the Commanders at the beginning. He brought them right back with poise and composure, and as a champion does. So great job, Jaden, to you, the Commanders, and your family. We've got a great event this week, Cocktoberfest. I don't know if you've been to it, though. It's at October 9th, 4 to 7:30, whatever the 9th is. Is that Thursday, or what, is that tomorrow? Thursday. If you haven't been to Cocktoberfest yet, this is an incredible event that San Bernardino PD puts on. It's probably the best Halloween festival, everyone, Harvest Festival that you can go to in our city. I went last year, and holy heck, that was one amazing show. Great job to Chief Goodman and his team out there for putting on that event for our kids. I'm sorry I didn't get it here sooner to be able to highlight it out to our children. I might get in trouble now because I think there's like 4,000 or 5,000 people this year. Might be 40,000, 50,000 people this year, but great event. So thank you again to our local PD. Talk about community policing at its best and working closely with our kids. We had kids perform there. We had our San Bernardino Senior Unified School District school police explorers there that did a heck of a job, as they always do. So great job, Chief Polino, to you and your staff. And then this Friday is our 2025 Gangs and Drugs Task Force Safety Summit. If you haven't signed up, check it out, please. It's on our SBCSS County Schools website. It'll be at University of Redlands this Friday, and a great event. We're having some. We always have some amazing keynote speakers. Actually, one is a Tillman. Ryan Tillman is going to be one of our keynote speakers, who's a young officer who has created a foundation. One of our motivational speakers for our youth in our community. We'll have a student panel. We'll also have a chiefs panel, as we normally do, for the Gangs and Drugs Task Force. Again, this Friday, University of Redlands. Might have sold out, but if you can make it, please do. And I think that's about it for my comments. It's just, it's been a really fun year so far, and a lot of great things happen in the city of San Bernardino, specifically in our district. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wyatt. Mr. Santos?
The college fair, the HBCU college fair, I think were a couple of awesome events that we've had the last few weeks. So just wanted to shout out the teams that put that together. Also, the University of Redlands, GIS Pipelines. It was a wonderful event, great event, and just want to shout out Arroyo and how great of a job they did presenting. When you went in there, it was awesome. And that, first of all, that gym is awesome. And then all of the effort their students, their staff, principal put together to put that event and make it look like a first-class event. All of that energy. So just wanted to thank them for that great work. And then for the ETSA Family Night, thank you for the video, Dr. Rodriguez. I am nowhere in that video, but if you see it, he's right in the middle of it. That's Dr. Wyatt. Yeah, I do not have the moves. I will agree. But yeah, so those are. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you. Were you, Mr. Santos, were you referring to at Arroyo at the event, the University of Redlands event? Was that what you were referencing?
Yes, I might have fumbled my words there, but yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I was going to mention that, although I didn't get a chance to attend. You know, it's usually during the day, and I'm chipping away at work. But I heard it was a great event, and I heard that you represented the board well. So thank you, Mr. Santos, for that. And you know, just thank you for, to Superintendent as well, and to the University of Redlands, you know, for coming and wanting and being willing to partner with us. I'm very excited for the students there. I'm always, you know, making comments regarding, you know, the CTE programs over there. So hopefully we can partner with them, not only on this front, but maybe even, you know, on our student teacher program end as well. So super excited about that. Also, I just wanted to say thank you so much to the board. 2 weeks ago, we came together for our first workshop with Mr. Rutherford, right? Mr. Gary. I'm just gonna call him Gary. It was very, very just nice. I think it was a good conversation, and you know, we started tonight implementing some of those things in our board comment, a public comment section. So you know, again, thank you all board for your willingness and, you know, just always showing up, man. We don't get paid for, you know, showing up to all the different events that we show up to, all the additional workshops or special board meetings or anything like that. You know, and just, you always just show up. So thank you so much. I really just want to acknowledge that. And then also I want to say, I just want to say that we attended the LEAD Summit reception on Thursday night. I had never been. I think it was like a little reception that they did a day before to their actual main LEAD Summit event at the university. It was kind of like a smaller, a little more intimate thing. So, you know, it was really nice to attend. Like I said, I hadn't been before, and it was nice to meet a couple folks. There was a couple folks there that were, you know, teachers in the district, and, you know, employees of the district, and just other folks from other areas as well. So it's always nice to break bread with raza, right? Also, I'm completing my MIG courses. Last Saturday, I attended the one in Torrance. Oh my goodness, it is so far. And not this weekend, but the next weekend, I'll be completing 5, and yay me, I'm done. I didn't get a chance to complete them, you know, a few years back because it was COVID time. So I don't do well with distance learning. I'm an in-person kind of gal. So it's been really interesting. And I wish that, you know, when they're going over some of this information there, I'm like taking in, and I'm kind of wishing that we were there. I was pulling up our documents. I was pulling up, you know, the different things. And I actually was going to text Mauricio. I was going to text you on Saturday, but I remembered you had said you were going to be out in Vegas. And I was like, I'll let him be. I'll let him enjoy his weekend. But these if you haven't been to them, or if it's been a while that you've been to them, they're pretty informational. I would highly recommend to, you know, refresh if you guys like to. Oh, nice. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it on that workshop. We are going to be having the part 2, and I think the calendar invite just went out for November 10th. So take a look at your calendars. I think Karen sent it and said that it was close to a holiday. So, you know, if you're planning on a 4-day weekend, you might want to reply sooner rather than later, if it works for you or not, so that we can move accordingly. But again, just want to thank you all for your willingness and participation. And that is all for me. Mr. Arellano?
Well, thank you. I'm going to try to end the night with sharing some great things that are happening in the San Bernardino City Unified School District beyond all the great things that we heard earlier today. So I want to start off by giving a shout out to Chief Paulino for two things. One, for always representing our district well and speaking at different conferences. And here we have a picture of him at the men's conference giving a speech on leading in crisis. So Chief, thank you for always sharing your wisdom with the folks out in the community. And second, to congratulate you on your announcement of retirement effective December 31st. 28 years in the district, 11 years as the Chief of Police, and we are better for it, sir. So I know we're going to have a formal time to celebrate you, but for tonight, just want to say congratulations on a stellar career. And I will always remember you for this. My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together. It's your favorite quote from Desmond Tutu, and that will always stick with me. So congratulations, Chief, and we're looking forward to honoring your great career here coming up soon. Next slide. Big kudos to Educational Services, Dr. Bacon Tesson, Alan Kay, Chelsea Ramirez, and all the program specialists and the Ed Services that put together an amazing district college night at the Inland Center Mall. I also want to thank the representatives of the Inland Center Mall for allowing us to use their facilities. We had over 80 colleges there, and it was packed with parents and students. So clearly, the marketing, the advertising for this event was well done, because there was just hundreds of parents, hundreds of kids lined up, 20, 25 deep at a lot of colleges. So congratulations to the district for putting together just an amazing program. And I put a picture of the Arroyo Valley High School dancers, because at one point they put on a great performance right there in the middle of the mall. That was they're amazing kids, very talented kids. But Dr. Vicatison and Anna, thank you for putting together a wonderful event. Next slide. And of course, it was exciting to be at the yearly Mr. and Miss Cardinal pageant at San Bernardino High School. And this year you see the two winners there, Patricia Aguilar and George McEwen are Mr. and Mrs. Cardinal. So I want to thank Principal Anna Sosa for her continued support of that program. And of course, Jamie Rios for all the work that he does behind the scenes, during the event, after the event, throughout the year, continuing to take our Cardinal Court at different places. And a shout out to Dr. Rodriguez. I found out that this program started when you were the principal at San Bernardino High School. So great job on creating something that's going to be historical moving forward. But my wife got to participate as a interview judge this year and thoroughly loved it. I believe Miss Alexander was there as well, and she really loved it. So thank you guys for making her feel welcomed, but it was a great event. Next slide. We were part of the California Native American Day celebration at Cal State San Bernardino. I was scheduled to speak that day, but unfortunately, I was sick with fever that day. So I wanted to be there because I know Cindra Weber, who's been our Title VI coordinator for years and helping us put these events, will be retiring, I believe, at the end of this calendar year. So I hated to miss it. But I want to thank Tex Acosta, who was asked to step in on my behalf. I heard his speech was great, right on point, and really represented the district well. So thank you, Mr. Acosta. And Cindra, thank you for all the great years you've given us in making sure that our Native American students are being successful and have been successful under your watch. Next slide. I was super excited to be one of the 5 superintendents, one of the 5 pilot districts that are part of the Cal State San Bernardino Guaranteed Admissions Program. So along with my colleagues there, my superintendent colleagues from Apple Valley, Victor Valley, Rim of the World, and Fontana, San Bernardino City Unified has an MOU for guaranteed admissions. So I want to thank Dr. Morales for giving us this opportunity, and to County Superintendent Ted Alejandre for brokering this opportunity for the 5 schools. The two gentlemen I just mentioned are also retiring soon. So I want to congratulate them on stellar careers and for all the support that they've given the San Bernardino City Unified School District over the years in their roles. But this is great news in our continued effort to make sure, as Dr. Greer was saying, we don't want kids to take a year off. We want them to go right to one of our colleges or junior colleges. So this is another step in the right direction. Next slide. And there it is, the picture of Dr. Wyatt eating lumpia, man. You make it look good, Chief. You make it look good. You make it look good. But as was mentioned today, I want to commend Francine Blackshirt for her effort in putting together our first Pacific Islander Filipino Parent Advisory Committee. It was a wonderful event. I think there was probably close to, what would you say, 60 to 80 people that day. And just an opportunity for another sector of our community to feel a sense of belonging. And to feel like they can celebrate the culture and share their culture. So, Dr. Wyatt, thank you for your support of that. And Francine and Dr. Greer, thank you for your continued efforts in making our parents feel welcome and loved in this district. Next slide. And I want to give a shout out to Sam Sarasaris, husband of Stephanie Sarasaris, who was a longtime principal in the district. Every year, he allows us to use his classic cars and his classic fire truck. It belongs to him. And so there we use the fire truck for the Mr. and Mrs. Cardinal Court. And then you see the 1964 Pontiac Grand Prix that I got to ride in during the homecoming parade for San Bernardino High School, which, lo and behold, were beaten by Pacific High School that evening as part of their homecoming game. It was a close game, but yes, Pacific is undefeated, and we're proud of them. But we're also proud of San Bernardino High School. They have a new coach this year, so he's rebuilding the program. But Sam Sarasaris and Stephanie, thank you for always stepping up and supporting our events. Next slide. This was one I was very proud to attend this week, and I know Mr. Santos mentioned, and Mr. Santos did a great job giving comments on behalf of the Board of Education, but kudos to Arroyo Valley High School, Principal Manuel Gonzalez, Suda for her work in putting this together, Mr. Chronopoulos, the career teacher, and Sam Moore, the CTE teacher, for creating this relationship with University of Redlands. I was very excited to see that President Newkirk and Shelley Stockton, who is part of their community relations, two people that I worked with closely when I was in Redlands, their willingness to create this bridge with our students right here in the city of San Bernardino. And so I was just curious, why did you pick us? And President Newkirk said, you responded to our email. And so I just thought that was great. So hats off to Arroyo Valley High School and the work that they're doing in creating a dual enrollment opportunity with the largest GIS mapping company in the world, Esri. So our kids get an opportunity to earn dual enrollment credit for the GIS class that's being offered at Arroyo Valley High School, and more to come. We're working on a guaranteed admission MOU as well as other dual enrollment opportunities with the University of Redlands. So a special thanks to President Newkirk for her willingness to give our kids that hope and inspiration to be able to attend University of Redlands. And I know I spoke to this young lady right here who's a freshman at Arroyo Valley High School. She had no idea what I was talking about, but now she has direction. Am I right? You promised me, right? She's shaking her head in the affirmative, but very excited. Next slide. Kudos also to the Junior ROTC Cadet Raider Group over at the Arroyo Valley High School who competed in the Kaiser High School Cadet Challenge. There was 10 different high schools there, and our team ranked 3rd out of 10 overall. But they were very proud of a couple second place earnings on a couple of events. So I'm going to read this because this is unbelievable. They took second place honors in the rope bridging competition, which means the team has to construct a 60. They have to traverse a team across a 60-foot constructed rope bridge under limited conditions under 3 minutes. That takes a lot of physical agility to do that. And then the second one they placed second place was called the rucksack race, where teams of 6 cadets must race around a baseball stadium perimeter carrying weighted rucksacks on their back, 2 15-pound ammunition cans, 2 5-gallon water cans, and then a 4th lap that has a full sprint. So just big kudos to Major Ricardo Williams, who is the teacher and coach of this team, and for making our team shine at the Kaiser High School event. Congratulations, cadets at Arroyo Valley High School. Next slide. And I know Kimber's in the audience. Want to give a big shout out to Kimber Sargent, who was selected as District, State, and Federal Leader of the Year by the California Association of Administrators of State and Federal Educational Programs. As you know, Kimber does an excellent job and is known as an expert across the state on the LCAP plan. So Kimber, know that we're all very proud of you. Congratulations. And I also want to show some shine on 2 of our members of the Board of Education. We have a pretty accomplished board members of education in terms of awards. So the awards keep coming. So we were notified that Dr. Scott Wyatt was selected as the County Office Administrator of the Year by the California Association of Asian and Pacific Leaders in Education. So Dr. Wyatt, congratulations on representing our district well and for all the work that you do. Thank you for making our district shine, man. We're very proud of you, bro. Very proud of you. Next slide. And we have Mrs. Ceballos, who is being honored by the California Association of Latino School Administrators, honoring her for her leadership. She's earning the Leadership Impact Award by the California Association of Latino School Administrators. So we're very proud of you, Myra. Congratulations. And Scott, we're very proud of you. And you continue to make our district shine. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. 13.0, summary of board members' requests. 13.1, review of requests. Do we have any?
So for tonight, I have only one, and it is from Mrs. Alexander. She inquired about the success rate of African American students in the pathways and if we have any information about them post-graduation. Dr. Greer and Mrs. Applegate will follow up via Friday update. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have 14.0, meeting adjournment. But before that, we have 14.1, in memoriam. The board would like to recognize and close the board meeting in honor of former employees Ruth Vicandova and Margaret Spencer, who recently passed away. Ruth Vicandova worked for the district from 1987 through 2005 as a Spanish language tutor and education assistant 3. Ruth was dedicated to serving the students of our district at several elementaries over the years. The many children she inspired and assisted is a testament to Ruth's dedication and commitment. For 2 decades, Margaret Spencer was a valued member of our district staff, serving as an instructional aide, attendance verifier, and school outreach worker at multiple schools throughout the district. Her work directly touched the lives of countless students and families, and her commitment to our community will be remembered by those who knew her. We are grateful for both Ruth's and Margaret's years of dedicated service, their commitment to our students, and the lasting impact they had on countless young learners. We extend our condolences to their families during this difficult time. We will now hold a moment of silence in their honor. Again, thank you so much. We are meeting adjourned.
Sure.
Thank you.